Yeah, buddies, it's the Bennington Show. And that was the yes. She have her baby yet?
I don't think so. I don't think she had her baby yet.
I saw her at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she looked pretty, ready to pop there.
Really?
Yeah, and then she was singing Vicious by Lou Reed. I thought it was one of the great rock and roll moments of all time. You're just really overly pregnant singing a Lou Reed song. It's the Bennington Show. There's Gail Bennington right there.
Oh, hi.
Stanley, hot peppers.
No.
Bennington is in the house. He's got ghost peppers, y'all.
Just squeezed into my eyeballs.
So excited about Ghost Pepper Day.
It's Chris Stanley and his shock jock stunts. Today he's going to rub more peppers in his eyes.
It was really exciting for me. It was like my first shock jock moment.
It was a shock jock thing. We're like, hey, how'd you like some piss on you? Ninth call against the piss on our producer. You guys are amazing. So amazing. Like one day I turned on and they were all pissing on each other. So good. Where's my arbitrage book? I just want to write it up.
I can see how it's addictive, though.
I think you guys are so great. Yesterday, that pepper thing fucking blew me away.
Boom, dude, I didn't know you like shock jock.
Oh, yeah, man. Old school style. Look who it is over here. It's John in Tampa. Hey, John. John, we got you, buddy. Every day we got to check the phones.
Hey,
Yeah.
is this me? I'm on?
What's up?
Boys.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for putting up Amy Schumer So Big. Took my wife over the weekend, and I had high expectations. And she says it's one of those 5 best movies she's ever seen in her life.
Wow.
And it was...
She doesn't get out much.
I mean, I had high expectations.
Yeah.
It was better than Bridesmaids. So, again, thanks for pushing it hard.
It was it was a fun movie. We were talking about that just yesterday, and it was, it's just a hard thing to make a comedy. You know, how many comedies come out a year that you really like?
Yeah, I think it's way harder to make a comedy that connects than.
Well, I didn't tell you or Stanley this, but the Interrobang was invited to do the red carpet for a new movie, starring a bunch of the SNL people, called Staten Island Summer.
Oh.
Then in parentheses, the Gail Bennington story. But covering the red carpet, not Jeffrey Gurian.
No?
Joey Jojo is going to be on the carpet.
Yeah, carpet.
Oh my God.
He is. You're going to be like one of those Entertainment Tonight people.
Yeah, I'm excited to do it.
We got to get you an Entertainment Tonight mic flag so that they put you up closer.
This guy looks pretty important.
What are your big plans? Do you have any big questions for them?
Yeah, if I see Lauren Michaels, I'm going to say, hey, I love you on SNL.
That's good.
Could I have an autograph?
I like that.
You know?
That's great.
I'll say, hey, remember Jim Belushi?
Yeah.
That he was fun, wasn't he? Tell me about that for a second.
Oh, geez.
Stuff like that.
No,
You might not be going.
Why should
I don't know how this is.
But
gonna
Anthony
go.
is going to be there as his assistant, and I believe the very black Earl Douglas will be team photographer.
That's quite a team.
It's a triple threat.
Look at this. It's Michelle with one L.
Oh, hi, Michelle.
Nice to see you.
Hi, guys.
It's been forever,
I know.
but you have a nice tan.
I've been tanning. No.
Tanning salon? Jersey tanning salon?
No. You know who lives near me, though? That lady.
That lady lives near you?
That is the tan lady.
Oh,
the tan mom.
tan mom.
Yeah. That's my claim to fame.
You know that you have to have a pretty deep tan if they call you tan mom when so many moms tan. I think she looks good.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
George Hamilton is here today. No segue.
No, is he really?
Yes.
The king of tanning.
Yes.
How's he look?
Like a corpse? Is that like
That's
not good, right? I shouldn't. No?
no.
Okay. I'm sorry.
George Hamilton starred in a movie that when I was a tiny kid, I saw on TV, and it made me want to move to Florida. There's a little film called Where the Boys Are. and it was the first spring break movie of all time.
Full of Jello.
Now, you would have thought to yourself, maybe I want to go to college, but I didn't think that. I just thought, wow, man, people who fucking hang out at the beach. This sounds great.
They look yummy.
Yeah, this sounds like it would be perfect for me.
Now, Where the Boys Are, the song, was it made for the movie or did
Yes.
that
Yes.
existed before?
What was the singer of that? She was a very famous Italian singer.
Connie Francis.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
in one day. We had I had her on the show. This
And
Connie
she was
Francis.
married to the guy who married every wife, right?
No, this is beyond
Eddie.
me.
Eddie.
Eddie Izzard, the comedian.
No,
Really?
Eddie
I didn't-
Fisher.
Yes.
I didn't know if that's true. Chris,
Eddie
you
Money?
could be looking that up instead of guessing.
But come on, it's a good guess. Eddie,
It's an interesting
Eddie
one. I mean,
Money.
I don't
I like that
picture
one.
it because he was more of Elizabeth Taylor
right,
type.
but he had Liz Taylor. He had the Singing in the Rain. He had them all.
Princess Leia.
No, he had her.
Oh.
Not sexually.
All right, she was married to 4 marriages: Joseph Garzilli, Dick Canellis, Izzy Marion, and Bob Parkinson.
First of all, that's
Good names. I want that to be my ex-husband list.
it's a bowling team that would not let me on. Because here's why. She's a Guidette, right? And she married a bunch of Guides over the years. But she's like all Italian people love her.
Yeah.
Just love her and cherish her and put her albums right next to their Pat Cooper albums.
She's a curly-haired brunette, right? That's what
She's a
looks like.
curly-headed cake eater. Yeah, curly-headed banana.
Who doesn't love cake though?
Yeah,
Straight-haired
everybody.
people.
I
Are you a cake or
used-
pie?
Oof, cake always.
Okay.
And it's got to
Pie.
be a cup.
It's got to be a cup.
Cake.
In cup cake.
Oh, you want to eat full cake? I don't
It's
like.
too much. It's
But
too
here's
much.
the thing: as much as you will order a cupcake somewhere, if someone said slice of cake, and you're like, what? That's fucking gross. I'm not gonna have a
Oh, who do you
slice.
think I am?
I'm not gonna have a slice of a cake.
Come
That's
on.
madness.
Put it
How-
in a cup.
Do you ever see how many people tried to start cup pies and it just never really catches on?
I wish it did.
We're called cup pies. I think that you need a bigger thing for the pie to work properly.
I think financially it would be bad because you have to have a hard bottom as opposed to the soft bottom of the cupcake, and it just doesn't work.
So financially,
Bottom
you can't
talk.
make a hard bottom.
I'm just saying.
There's no money in hard bottoms, right, Iggy? Right, Gigi?
Buy, sell.
He knows the business.
Yeah. I've been in cup pie since 1982 when I was married to Miss Connie Francis.
Official.
Hi, I'm Izzy Kabuki. That sounded like the cast of How the Mob Took Over America. There's this stupid. I'm watching like a documentary series about all those people, and the reenactments go on forever, and it's fucking terrible. And I watch it every week. So Lucky Luciano had him killed, and I'm just sitting there eating a cup pie, all fucking wondering why I used to have friends, and now I'm sitting at home.
It's because of the hard bottom.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the hard bottoms.
I don't think that's the problem.
Hard bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round.
Hard bottom.
I always like a song about a gay guy just singing about how much he likes women's asses.
I bought it.
Yeah, I know you did, honey. I know you believed. All your little teen loves turned out to be gay. That's true of most
Well,
girls.
my first husband. So yeah,
He was gay?
Yeah.
Well, you met him in theater, I imagine, right?
sure.
Yeah, don't marry someone in theater.
Oh, is that? Oh.
Was it a shock to you when he turned out to
No,
be gay?
because I married him so he could stay in the country.
He could say, or you?
Him. I'm,
Oh, I was gonna say, I thought
I'm
you-
American.
I thought you
American.
said now.
Now.
After you married this, so it wasn't a true marriage.
No, we were good friends.
How long did you
5
stay?
years.
Now, do you know you could be deported for
Right
that?
now,
For what you
right
did?
this
Yeah, at
second.
any time.
At any time.
Yeah. Matter of fact, there's a hotline number I can call.
God damn it.
Well,
how
I get
much money could you
$25.
get? Yeah.
It's bounty.
I do it constantly. I think they're not in our country legally. What country was he from? Let's all try to guess.
Okay.
I'm just going to say England because it's theater. It's not going to be French.
Can I throw one out there?
Yeah.
Chile.
Ooh, I like that.
How do you say it?
Chile.
That's so
Because
good.
you really understand countries.
That's right.
My guess is he was from down Mexico way.
Yeah, that makes more sense for her. Where'd you meet him? Down in Rio Grande?
You know me. You know me and Izzy.
He was coming across on a fucking float, just kicking his feet. That would be the greatest thing if the people just came into the country, is with those floats that little kids have that have like a horse hat on it. I always do this if I'm in a pool somewhere and I see a kid with one of those. I always like jump back and go, I thought there was a fucking horse in here. Oh, you freaked me out. Jesus.
Don't let him kick you. Don't let him kick you.
England?
Canada.
Canada, you're just welcomed here from Canada. No one's ever booted back to Canada.
Nobody. Except for Canadians who live here illegally.
I didn't even know that they could.
I thought it was going to be something exotic.
Nope.
You don't
Not
think
me.
Canada's exotic? Ontario? Mm-mm. You don't find that exotic?
No, they're our sister country.
You guys are going and you're going to speak a second language when you get there.
Well,
so
I already
come on.
speak French fluently.
All right, hit me.
I don't want to just be that guy who just starts
Please
speaking
be that
French.
guy.
He's
Come
humble.
on, Ron.
He's humble.
I grew up in Paris, Texas.
Texas. Yeah.
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 There's
Gotta
a
get-
twist in the story. There's a twist in the story.
Hang on.
Stanley was not expecting.
You know, I became good buddies with your producer.
He's the best guy out there.
Yeah, he's a Philly guy. So we have a couple Philly moments
You
every day.
guys had some cheese.
No, we just talk. He goes like, "What the hell is he doing down there? Oh, Jesus Christ! What the fuck is wrong with the Phils?"
You guys really get robbed every year.
We don't care.
You just
It's
like
part
to be
of us.
angry.
Yeah, it's part of us. You
No,
know.
I haven't seen these Bennington. They're
Well, this is the
beautiful.
first year that they've been used.
First day.
Don Wiki
Really?
and got
Well,
these for us. Yeah.
Take a picture of these beauties.
No,
nice.
just leave it.
No, but can't
We
do
don't-
that.
we
Not
don't-
allowed.
Yeah, we don't want pictures inside of here. I saw Apatow was doing stand up last night.
I saw that.
Started doing just a Bill Cosby thing. And I'm like, he's actually around doing this after the movie has come out. There's no reason
Yes.
for him to be out doing stand
He's very
up.
passionate. He's passionate about Cosby, too.
With the rape and the
Great.
rape and the rape.
It was really great.
Well, you know, it's now a safe. Well, Apatow was first, really. He was out there early on with this. But now everyone's just like, you don't have people go anymore like this. Like, hey, nothing's been proved in a court of law.
Well, once Whoopi fell,
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
it took her.
She went down. Yeah.
Loves rape.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell.
Well, she likes statutory rape.
Right.
That's her main concern.
She is fine with nonviolent.
By the way, there's pictures of Trump, and I don't want to bring my Trump obsession on the air every day, but I just have to say the new polls, he's doubling everybody else. He's at 24%. I think Scott Walker's at 13%. Stanley's fucking hero, the mayor of the governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie.
My dude.
3% shitty.
Oh, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Stanley put, 3%. Yeah.
People are really they're really thinking about Trump as their option.
Well, first of all, there's no second choice.
They got nothing.
I mean, did you ever watch Apprentice?
No.
Yeah, it's great. He just
Okay.
fires people, and that'll be what it'll be like around here. I think it's going to be great.
Wasn't there some songs written by
Yeah, he doesn't do them anymore, though.
what?
Oh.
Why?
No.
What happened?
We don't have stuff like that ready.
We break things.
Yeah, we look forward. But I'm hoping Trump, this is my dream. Trump gets elected and he starts firing states. Like he gets so mad at South Dakota, you're fired. And then we put a wall around them, a giant wall around them. You know what I mean?
This is going to be an incredible fortress when he's done.
Well, I do. Yeah, I think that we will keep a state down for a while just to show the other states we're not fucking around.
You know, everyone's talking about the wall. I think he's going to come up with a ceiling. He's going to put a top on it.
Well,
Really keep us.
dome it in. I wish that he would come out to just the entire album by the wall. Like he probably
Perfect.
just comes out. It's not by the wall. It's just called the wall.
Yeah.
But it's by Pink Floyd.
The whole album, though.
Mother, do you think to drop the bomb? He's just sitting there like people go fucking. Yeah, I do think you'll drop the bomb. Do it, Trump. I just can't get enough of him. I just love this. It just reminds me of how wacky the United States is.
Everyone can't get enough of him. He's a juggernaut.
He just can't get enough. He just can't get enough. Chris, if you had to get rid of a state right now, what would you do?
West Virginia.
Why?
There's already a Virginia. I always felt
Well,
weird.
just add them then. So
make it a
anything
great
that,
big
like,
Virginia.
why wouldn't you get rid of one of the Carolinas then?
Yeah, North Carolina's gone.
No, South.
Yeah, they're bigger than South Carolina. South Carolina's just holding on the fucking coattails of North Carolina.
Except for Charleston, which is nice.
Yeah, but their thing is South Carolina, if you look on their license plates, it actually says we don't have a major city. We just drive along waving to people. Don't you always love it when you get to a state and you find out that their biggest city is just like a town, like just a small town?
Like
almost?
Helena, Montana.
Yeah, Helena, Montana is a great thing. You know, you get there and you're like,
Yeah.
you know, you're driving for a while and then once you're there, you're like, oh shit, I thought there would be pizza, but I guess not. There's no hotels here. New Hampshire has the same feeling.
Well, it's the tiny town.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Who are these people going by?
Well, that's George Hamilton and his.
That's
ladies.
the Hamilton wives, and there's George Hamilton right there. I think he looks fantastic from here.
It's a great suit.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
The blonde that you saw was married to Rod Stewart at one point, too.
Yeah.
They have a reality show about, I guess, just how
About
wonderful
being
they
Stewarts and
how wonderful their life
Hamiltons.
is. They call themselves the smaller ass Kardashians. That's probably how you have to pitch them. We're like the Kardashians.
Okay.
Although our asses are much more manageable.
It's a strike against you.
Really?
I would think it would be a plus. Okay.
We need bigger asses.
I thought you just want to do something. You're not going to get bigger than that
You're
family.
just not.
Implants, Dad.
I dare you to find another family.
No, I don't think you could. You might find the lone person every once in a while.
Yeah, but not an entire family of.
I can't
Big
figure
bucks.
out if it's because of like the way they eat or if it's because of where they're from. They're
It's the humidity, they say. It's global. It's global warming. So you went out of your way to finally, like, maybe it's an ethnic thing.
I want to be racist, but is
Yeah.
it race?
I guess it's their race, or are they hiding secrets?
how would they get them so plump?
But just the butt.
Just the butt.
Just the butt.
Remember when she broke the internet? It was a pretty butt.
Yeah, you can't say anything. You can't say anything bad about it. A lot of people attempt to, and you're just like, shut up.
Didn't she have an X-rayed on live TV as well to prove that she? I don't know if it was
Why would
actually.
she
I don't know if it was
I mean,
live
what would you prove in the X-ray?
because she was being accused of having a fake butt,
I didn't
and
know
she
that.
got it in X-ray at some point.
I just thought she was like, if anybody wants to see the inside, there she is. Talk about tan mom. Look at her there.
And her face is like, told ya.
Same.
Lad.
Thing.
So, boy, but has that fucking family crushed men one after another? They leave their crackheads, alcoholics, fucking women. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, I fucking hate living with these people so much. I'm just going to become a woman for a while. I'm going to push my penis up into my fucking crotch and just live that way. That's how fucking pissed I am at these whiners and naggers.
It's better this way.
Naggers, they nag.
Oh, okay.
Oh gosh,
Nag.
that was close.
It isn't close. It's not even slightly close.
In similar words.
Naggers, people who nag. That's it. You know, most of the time when other people go, what, is when the fucking trouble starts. Joe, you're the only one I got right now, buddy.
I'm right behind you.
Thanks.
'Cause
That's what he also said.
did you hear what he said though?
Yeah.
It's close.
Mm-hmm.
When the Kardashians were here, people were just following them around, like literally behind them. Like when they walked past here, they were going into, I guess, Sway, and there was just a fucking parade of dudes following behind. And just like, we know what you're doing.
Oh my
You're watching
God.
ass bounce.
They kept dropping pens.
2 people tried to hide themselves in it, tried to get across the border that way. They accused her of actually smuggling Mexicans. All right, there was a thing under Trump where I guess it's a quote by him, and he said Mexicans more like Mexicants.
Oh, come on.
I think that makes sense, though. He's got my. Look where he is right now, South Carolina.
All right.
Your least favorite state.
Well, he likes it better than North Carolina.
Oh, that's
He's going
right.
to turn it over to him.
Yeah, I like the flag thing. Was a big fan of.
Just merge them together for just Carolina.
That could work. Like merging the Virginias and the Dakotas. I don't think there's.
Why would we merge the Virginias into the Dakotas?
The
We're going to
Virginias.
have to physically move them.
There's so much effort into that. It's like making a pie cake.
This candidate wants to move the Virginias over the
Are you
Dakotas.
saying I can't?
Well, we realize it's going to cost a billion, skillion, trillion dollars.
Skilling, you say?
Well, Bob.
My child told me that. My child told me it was gonna be
He's
a
really
skill.
good at math.
If I was running for president right now, I would promise the country I would kill everything in the ocean and everything that flies. I will kill every bird out there for your safety.
Even Larry?
You know what? I'm going to let Larry Bird live. You know why?
No.
Well, I can't say because I had that other joke earlier that Gail blew out of proportion. It never happened.
I do that.
What? What? Remember what that caused before?
Mm-hmm.
The firestorm. Luckily, Don fixed.
I know. He's always there for us.
I'll be there for you, 'cause I'm Don Wicky Wicklin. I think I heard him sing that to me once. By the way, he gave us fresh spices from his garden yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I took them home, and my chick,
Herbs.
herbs and spices. My chick was like, "Oh my God, this can go into our Italian foods."
So
she was
great.
so excited.
So it's
And
like
cherry tomatoes as well.
organic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He
But
didn't spray them.
He just gave it to us in a big bag like we fucking copped the half of LB.
It looked like a giant bag of weed
It did.
as he handed it to
It
us.
looked like a happy bag of weed. You ever
Middle of the
say that?
street.
This looks like a happy bag. We're
all
this
happy.
is a sad bag. Look how little it is. I just have it in the corner.
Cheer that bag up. Cheer that bag up.
Well, I don't want to say this because Gail's here, but there used to be a thing of freshen it up because, and I'm not talking about marijuana, but other things. Let's just say fine powders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you're a dealer, and you'd be like, freshen this up as well. Would you please? It's getting a little lonely down there.
As a
Freshen it
child, I don't follow what you're saying.
Good. Then I would go like this. Spanish Johnny, make the pain go away. Spanish Johnny.
Look what I did with his herbs and his cherry tomatoes.
Wow, that's
And a risotto.
beautiful.
I should send that to him, actually.
You should. Send it to him right now. But that is beautiful. Now, what all is it? Risotto?
Mm-hmm.
Nice risotto?
And then I used his basil and then cherry tomatoes on top.
That looks like a delicious meal
Mm-hmm.
that you can only get in Williamsburg.
Well, here's the thing.
Hmm?
Gail and I are both Blue Apron trained. So
That's right.
this week I went back and found old Blue Apron menus, right? Since my food comes in tonight, and I did stuff going out and purchasing it myself and cooking.
I've done that multiple times
Yeah.
where I use an old recipe. You came over once and I did like a chili and I
Yeah.
reused that recipe. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So it
It's so great.
teaches you and it feeds you.
Both.
Well, not only teaches you, but it changes your palate. Where you're not like, look, I don't want to sit around and do what I call a Michelle lousy meatloaf. You know what I mean?
It's true. that hits home, but yes.
Kids, there's meatloaf again. And something greenish next to it. Again? The hell's
It was
going on in
spinach,
this
guys.
house?
It's spinach.
What did you say, son? The hell's going on in this household? Oh, darling, I'm worried about our son's throat. It just sounds terrible. It's because all this meatloaf. He just sounds like a small gay Rod Stewart. I heard that. I'm straight. Why would you be talking that way as a child? Why would you be talking that way? Is that your child's voice?
It's a grizzled child's voice.
I'm 6. You want to stab me? Is the baby on fire? Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like they caught fire. It's burning.
That kid is haggard as hell.
Yeah, he's been through a lot. Missing an eye. Had an eye
Well, my
taken
cooking
out.
will do that.
No, but you should no, because you got little kids and they don't want to.
They don't eat.
They don't want fancy
unless it
pants.
has ketchup on it. It's not going down. Yeah.
They put ketchup on it.
That's another thing. If I was president, I think I'd get rid of ketchup.
Oh, come on. There's uses.
Yes, all horrible. The use is destroying food.
Hamburgers?
Yeah.
I put it on the hamburger.
Ugh.
French
Now,
fries?
do you make it? No. French fries is like, I don't want this to taste like potato. Whatever you put ketchup on tastes like ketchup. And this is what happens. The hot sauce people are the same way. They're like, gotta have my hot sauce, keep it in my pocket. I'm like, because you fucking destroyed your taste buds.
It's killing me.
I want everything.
Nothing.
I want everything to taste hot, like hot sauce. This hot sauce, Mom, it's hurting me. Oh, so these assholes were eating fucking Don's peppers yesterday, right? So Chris is crying like a baby. Joe is doing the uncool radio thing of just taking it all the time, just like, you know, but he's like huffing and puffing and sweating. And Stanley's acting like a fucking, seriously, like he got fucking maced.
It hurt.
So then he touches his eyes with his pepper hands.
I scratched my eye.
I was watching him do it. I saw him through there, and it was like slow motion. He started like cartoon rubbing his eyes.
Yeah.
Why? Because you were sweating?
Because the sweat was pouring down off me. So like it wasn't even like the inside of my hand. It was the outside of my fucking finger, and it still fucking hit. And as soon as I fucking touched it, as soon the fucking the fire started burning in the corner of my eye, and I fucking dropped.
Yeah, you're not on a witness stand telling us about a murder. You're a guy who fucking pepper banged his own eye. You're an idiot. No,
Plus
here's
the salt combo.
Gail actually did this when she was looking at him. And everything, you know, slow mo, and it was just like those, like you see, peppers start to explode, and Gail was just being knocked back.
The wake of his anger and
Pain.
He was down just flushing his eyes out in the bathroom while other people are, you know, pissing. He's just there.
Why won't it stop?
Like a businessmen are looking over. That's odd. This is an odd place. I don't think we're going to do business here.
No, you should start the business here.
I'm going to tell Scott this deal's not going through.
Mind me. It's just the fire in my eye.
while he's pouring milk, a gallon of milk down his
do
throat.
the milk
Yeah.
too? Oh, that's adorable.
Pepper milk.
Yeah, it was peppery milk.
But the pepper in the eye dropped you. Like he was on the ground. He was screaming
It's
and
very
wailing.
painful.
Yeah. I don't think it was that big a deal. I think he made a bigger deal out of it. Did
Did you have any of the pepper?
Huh?
Did you eat the pepper?
No.
Yeah,
No.
you're pretty smart.
No. I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm not going to just. First of all, the other day he's like, I'll eat any pepper he has. And then the pepper shows up. He's like, is this hot? Because if it is, I'm not eating it.
Didn't think
Like,
you would
what
come
are you
through with
doing?
them.
You already said on the air you would eat the pepper. You made the statement on the air.
I know. I was just talking shit. That's all it was.
You probably had 1,200 tweets. You have to eat the pepper.
I had nothing to back it up with besides pain.
Rub some in your eye.
That's never a good idea.
No. Terrible.
I used to get stuff from Don too, back in the day. He used to give me stuff from his garden. I miss you, Don.
Why don't you guys,
And what happened?
you know,
I think we're getting back.
are you?
I'm trying.
Is that as he gains power, suddenly you're like, you know what? Maybe I said it. Maybe I was wrong before.
I love you, Don.
Well, you just got a new toupee, so give that a
Really?
yeah. Got
Oh.
a toupe.
That's good.
Yeah, it's not permanent. I mean, he takes it on and off depending on the weather.
Do you like it this way or that way?
And then just pull it off and just start
Fan
just fanning
himself.
himself. It's hot today.
Have you tasted my peppers? Whew!
Put some ice under my tube. No, I was thinking about you yesterday because you abandon your children all the time.
All the time.
A woman was arrested. Here's the deal. So she's a single mama.
Mm.
She goes to get a job at the mall. She's excited about it. She puts the kids down at the food court. I think she gives them fudgicles. She walks 30 feet away where she's interviewing, and she can watch the children. And she's keeping an eye on them. They're eating fudgicles. They're doing okay. She gets the job. She's going to be a fucking cashier at the Gap or whatever. She walks back, cuffed it, arrested for leaving her children alone.
Unbelievable.
Almost 10 yards away.
That's insane. That's way
like,
too
I hope
harsh,
there's
right?
some lawyer out there that takes this case and just fucking buries that fucking cop.
I remember when I used to, like, if I would go to the supermarket with my mom, she would say, "Stay away from me until I'm done shopping." Run around, get in some stuff.
Yeah, what's the difference? I mean, people let their kid walk through a store by themselves. If the food court is right there, what do you...
How is this legal? I hate these things.
I mean, what are we talking about? Like, if we're talking about children, it's not a baby.
Yeah, and also we're always telling people to get a job all the time. And here's a single mother
Right.
trying to get that job. Oh, no, you know, even though you're broke and you're trying to get food for your kids, first buy a fucking babysitter to sit there at the same exact money that you'll be making at the fucking store.
Oh, God, that makes
It makes me laugh, though, because the kids are all right. The Who was fucking
Yeah.
certainly
Oh, yeah.
right.
They
when
were
said
onto
the kids
something.
were
With
all
that
right.
up thing, they were all right. It's called an arrow.
I can't imagine a cop doing this though. Like I could see a lot of other people acting like those kids are too far away from their mom.
Right.
But I can't imagine like a cop going, "Stop it, everyone."
I think also people will call security or call the police and they will start to fabricate kind of like how intense the situation is in order to get, because I watched a woman do this once and it was like, oh, this is like how things escalate out of control.
Yeah.
Where there was like a group of kids and they were like, I don't know how it got started. They were like mocking her and she was yelling back at them and she had her dog with her and they were like calling her names and calling her a bitch. And then she calls the cops and she's on the phone and I hear her going, yes, I feel in danger. I feel in danger. And then she's like, starts to scream. And then finally she's like, yes, I am injured. Okay. Just send someone. And she started to lie and say that she had been injured. And then at that point, the kids like just start running.
Yeah, always run.
And I'm like, this is how you get kids shot. This is how you get kids shot.
I would actually write a book for kids called Always Run.
Say please and run.
Yeah. Just run as fast as you can.
So I'm sure someone called. It was just like, they've been alone for 3 hours and they're hungry and crying.
They look like they're sweating.
There was this woman in Maine, too. This is a story. So she owns a diner in Maine. I guess she's the cranky diner lady up there. You know how everybody always likes the cranky diner ladies. This is when she's like, "Here's your pancakes, fatso." So I was like, she's great. She just busts our balls. The sausage is out of this world. So the place is packed out, and there's a baby crying. Baby's crying, 2 years old, crying. The fucking lady screams at the baby, "This has got to stop." And that has become a giant thing on the internet, you know, blowing up of how mad people are at this lady for yelling into a screaming baby's face, "This has got to stop."
Anybody who would complain about that has never worked in food service.
Yes, 100%.
You've never done it then.
Or been a human on the fucking planet where, you know, you're going out from one experience and a screaming baby. You know, there's some people that are like, "I'm going to stay in this movie with a screaming baby."
It's my right.
Just get up and walk with the baby. The rest of us have done that.
Yeah.
The baby starts to get fussy. You walk outside.
This baby was crying for 45 minutes before she else flipped out on it.
If I started crying, I'd leave.
She waited 45 minutes.
If I was crying,
I control myself.
I'd yell, "I got to get out of here. I can't stay in this movie."
It's making me uncomfortable, my crying.
But some people, they get really mad. But I've said to kids before, "Hey, what's the big problem over there?" And everything settles down. And then the mother would be like, "See, you made that man mad, that crazy man.
And I'll leave him with you.
What's the problem over there? I'm a cop and I'll shoot you and your mom.
And I'll get away with
You
it.
better fear cops, children. Fear them. We have all the power." But I can't, I'll be in a fucking restaurant just like, Carl. You know, the kids, the parents, I'm like, "Stop saying fucking Carl. Either straighten this motherfucker out or just give in."
Yeah, I mean, I understand, like, you know, families still need to go out and do things. Like,
They don't.
It's okay.
They don't, really.
But I'm just saying, you know, you think that your kid can handle going out to eat and then they have a meltdown. You just step them out for a minute. You handle it like a parent. You're like, you make some sort of threat. I don't know what parents do. They, you know.
Figure 4 leg lock is the best way to start.
Is it time to go to school?
I'll throw him in the Steiner recliner and just start bending backwards.
Comfortable.
Somebody just walking by and someone's putting their kid in the Steiner recliner? Yeah. Sure. Why not?
The weird, I guess some people are afraid to be the bad guy around their kids.
I don't know those people.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I don't know, but if you have ever worked in a restaurant where you're spending hours on end and people are not taking their kids out,
It makes me crazy.
and having a conversation with them or saying like,
or making you. I've waited, and I've had people be like, "Can you talk to my son to ask him to be quiet?" Like,
oh yeah,
because I'm the authority figure.
The other thing that's a huge problem is like then people in food service and also like if you work in a store, you become part of the child's lesson.
Yeah.
So they're like, go ahead and say thank you for clearing the plates to the lady, and the kid doesn't say something. Say thank you, and it's like I want to kind of get on with my day, and I understand. He has something to learn.
Yeah, I don't care about it though.
Just has nothing
I don't care
to
if he
do
thanks me or not. This is a fucking thankless job. You
Just tip
understand?
me, you motherfucker. Just tip me.
Aggressive with that child.
Well,
But seriously, I honestly think there should be like a fucking job like baby bouncers, where you just have a fucking person who isn't afraid to go over to a baby and say, "Shut the fuck up right now. I will take this fist and smash it right into your little fucking fontanelle. You think I'm playing with you?
Little far.
I will stick these 2 fingers deep into your skull. Right into your skull.
Oh.
Go ahead, cry again. Fucking cry again. Play with your army man right now. Start making it shoot. Make them shoot each other."
Okay.
I don't have an ability to see children differently than adults, and I'll say to kids, I don't know what kind of dinosaur it is, but I gotta tell you, I'm not all that interested. I'm not gonna guess your dinosaurs. That's what I'm telling you, man. Because I feel the same way, like if a person came over and started showing me something.
Is this a brontosaurus? Rod, look, I got some pictures of dinosaurs.
Stop
for
it.
that.
Shut up. You're a boring person.
I don't care if you are 3.
Get older. Then come around and talk.
Get interests.
But, you know, even when people... My bae, every time she goes by. So, yeah. When they'll say, like, children are our future, right? Then I'm like...
gotta teach them
yeah.
well.
Well, then this is our time.
Yeah.
So they got the fucking future.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then after
time.
we're dead, they can fucking run roughshod, just like a freshman in high school. Shut the fuck up until we graduate, and then run around acting like an asshole and thinking that you're cool all you want.
This is not your time.
Children are just the freshmen of planet Earth. But they think that we're all into raising their kids together. And we're not. We are not. You raise them.
That's your
I'll
job.
walk them outside when they're fucking screaming and they won't eat their pancakes. I don't give a fuck if they eat or not. I never saw a baby starve in this country once. You know what I mean? You never see anyone starve with food in front of them. I'll put it that way.
Okay, I'll accept that.
I saw those African babies that had flies all
I
over
don't
their
wanna
mouth.
know.
They
Yeah.
weren't even crying then.
They know better.
Africans are so much better than our babies.
They're very well behaved.
Yes.
And what American baby doesn't like
big,
pancakes?
And big, beautiful eyes. Just gorgeous,
I
big,
know.
beautiful
So
eyes.
beautiful.
So true.
Steve.
Hey, whatever happened to distracting babies with keys? Is that not a viable solution anymore?
No, you
I
give them an
see it.
iPad.
They might
Oh, yeah, they all have the phones and iPads. That's what they do. They sit at restaurants and they're
They're just poking away
Yeah.
at it. Yeah.
not connecting with any human.
Yeah, they turn the whole world into their bedroom.
But if that's what has to happen in order for no meltdown, okay.
Here's Don in Missouri. Don.
Hey, Ron. I was just going to call. Tell you, when you discipline your kids anymore in public, you do have to be very careful. My kid once had a meltdown, and some guy tried to get in between it. I told him to leave us alone. He called the cops, told him I was beating my child. Like, 2 years later, it took forever. I mean, I almost went to prison over it.
So he just said that you're beating on your kid, and he saw you do it.
Yes, and my family, my wife, my dad, Even my son, it was even a mark on my son, and they still arrested me for Class C felony child abuse.
Did you hit the kid?
No, I never hit him. I've never hit my kid. I don't even yell at him. I'm a truck driver. I go home, I spoil the kid right because I never get to see him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the thing is, if you're accused of anything like that,
it's really scary.
It's like getting rape charges or something.
Right.
Like
They look through every single thing you've ever done.
Ugh. Scott, what's up, buddy?
I take my little girl, she's just over 2, to like this gymnastics class, and there's this one fucking kid who pushes her around all the time and will like punch other kids in the face. And one day I just got fed up and shouted right at him, "Knock it off!" And the parents didn't know what to do because they just let it happen. But I think people will sort of adjust their parenting behavior if they see other people like saying, "Hey, your kid's a little bastard, do something about it."
I would have no trouble doing that. But the other thing is, you could have threatened the parents. You just say, every time I see him hit another child, you're getting fucking hit. And, that's just a phase I'm going through. That's just a crazy phase that I'm in.
I might
right
also
now.
bite you.
Yeah.
I might also bite you.
It's not, it's me. It's hard. Teddy in Maine.
The best part of that whole pancake story is the owner of the diner, Carla. When she slammed down her hand on the car and said, "Enough," the baby actually shut the fuck up.
Sure, because somebody was going to fucking knock him out.
Yeah.
But do you know that diner? Have you ever been to it?
Yeah, it's Marcy's Diner. It's right in downtown. The place is a real small place. And Saturday morning was wicked humid. And the place was just crazy. I guess they were all in the weeds. And it was like 45 minutes, and the kid never shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So she just, she snapped. She's a crazy person anyway, and we love her. But she did it. She took one for the team, and God bless her. Everybody's backing her up here.
Everybody likes Crazy Diner Woman.
Yeah.
We used to have a Crazy Diner Woman. I used to drive fucking 3 towns over to get to her.
Yeah.
Just to be yelled at and stuff like that it was the best when we were kids. But the town is backing her up. But I guess she's getting beat up on social media. But she says she doesn't care. She says if you don't like, she says Chris has got a clip of her. I'm going to come back to you, Teddy. All right.
All right.
Hold on. Let's play some of her explaining herself.
Child acts up for a long time, I might snap. And I do scream at times, but that's all it is. Just leaning over the counter and yelling.
Can you sort of reiterate what happened yesterday? Was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
What happened?
After listening to a child scream at the top of her lungs in my very busy restaurant, I screamed at her and told her it had to stop. Her parents didn't want to leave. They didn't seem to even notice that she was crying. Maybe it's normal. I don't know. I don't care.
And you seem like you're just shaking it off, not...
I am.
Yeah, why is that? You're not worried like other people who saw it might not want to come back here and people who are seeing this thing go viral?
You know what? Life's full of choices and you got to live with all of them. I chose to yell at the kid. It made her shut up, which made me happy. It made my staff happy. It made the other 75 people in the restaurant happy. And they left. They may never come back. Other people may not come in. They're lost, really.
Are you sorry at all?
I don't know if sorry would be the proper word. I might have used poor judgment. I wouldn't say I was sorry because it stopped. When things stop, it's usually a good thing. All I said was I slammed my hands on the counter and I said, "This needs to stop," meaning her screaming. And I pointed at her and she looked at me and she stopped. And the parent said, "Are you screaming at a child?" Yes, I am.
And you said it was pretty bad parenting?
Very. I don't know if they knew she was there. They ordered 3 pancakes for this kid. They set them in the middle of the table, and they chit-chatted, and they ate the pancakes. And the kid had crumbs in front of her on the nasty little placemat they brought for her. And occasionally they'd throw her a scrap, but she's all the time. Hello. Put a pancake in front of the kid. If people want to come to Marcy's, great. I can guarantee they'll have a great meal. They might even have fun. I don't recommend they bring a screaming kid. Perhaps they bring it out and let it sit on a bench. Chill the kid up.
That's Marcy, huh, Teddy?
She's unbelievable. This chick is great. She's like the Donald Trump of breakfast joints.
All right, man. Thanks, bro. Peace.
Stay cool.
I like a good diner that just has some, great food without being fancy like that.
Yeah.
A place that you could always go to. It's the best.
That's like what you would enjoy about something like that is like
absolutely
kind of gritty characters. And
Yeah, you want to feel like you're in Maine. She's local. She doesn't take any shit. Bunch of guys in there wearing hats with fish hooks in it,
Right. I like that she said it was like maybe it's normal. I think that's part of the problem is maybe parents who hear their kids scream all day, like you know how to tune it out because you're used to it, but it's not that way for anyone else. Like this sounds crazy to everyone else.
But also, you don't have to take a baby to a restaurant. You know what I mean? You could do drive-through. You could cook at your house. You don't have to sit in a thing with a bunch of other people.
If they're not at
makes
the
me
phase yet where they're ready for it.
There's stuff in Brooklyn where people are taking their babies to bars.
Yeah, it's the worst.
And then telling other people, hey, watch your language. There's babies
Why
in
the
here.
fuck would they do that?
All the time.
It's a problem.
Happens all the time.
Are you
Now,
kidding
in
me?
Park Slope specifically.
The young mother capital of the world.
Yeah.
And I guess the moms don't want to stop their other lifestyle. They want to get
But
together.
your fucking life changes. The end.
I was in
It changes.
No, but
Yeah.
there's brunch though. There's brunch.
No, there's not. There's nursing and there's a lot of bullshit that goes with
Mimosas, yeah.
parenting.
I was in a bar a couple weekends ago, and
It's a
it was
shocker.
in the
Drunk.
and there was somebody with a double wide stroller, and then with a friend, and they had a stroller, and they were complaining about the lack of room for their 3
Unbelievable.
children and their double wide stroller and a single stroller in a bar.
I hate people.
In a bar, like. Well, there's not a place for a stroller because babies shouldn't be in here. That's why we don't have a stroller parking.
Can I see a high seat, please?
That's why we use the places with the pool
high
tables and the
seat.
dartboards.
I don't understand that mentality at all. Like your life changes. Just deal with that.
Yeah, you made that kind of choice that...
Give it up for adoption if you're
Yeah.
not willing to
You
do
can't-
it.
Yeah.
Abort. I'm fine with that.
Abort. Hey, John, what's happening?
You know, when I was a kid, my mother used to take us out, and she'd threaten us, well, you got to put your clothes on, you got to get dressed. And then all of a sudden, she'd say, all right, time to go. She'd throw us in the car with our pajamas, walk into Kmart, the bank, whatever it is. We'd sit in the car. This is back in the 70s. Nobody said boo. I'd be afraid to leave my kid at 7-Eleven or run and grab milk these days because you never know what's going to happen.
I guess. I mean, I don't know if we've seen that there was a great amount, a spike in child napping. I mean, we're just sitting around saying how annoying these kids are. Who would want to take them?
Want nothing to do with that thing.
Just to shut it up, but that's the only reason.
I just took it for a while, just to quiet it down.
I gave it a Quaalude. See the
But
silence?
yeah, we the left in the car days changed.
Yeah.
But that used to be the thing of why take everybody into the store and just running in. Or it was like my grandfather, he used to drive down to the beach, and he would be a guy that would, it was like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive. And he'd be like, he'd pull into these fucking tap rooms, right? These real old school places. Like, I got to talk to a guy in here. Just hang out. I got to work out some business with him. He'd be out, drive another, 45 minutes. There's a fella in here who owes me a couple bucks.
Guys, he mad about a horse.
I'm going to leave the fucking radio on for everybody.
You like this station? Good.
Taking like 6 hours to take this trip.
Making a lot of stuff.
Because, yeah. You know anyone that's maybe in a general store that you need to talk to? Here is Jeff in Mass. Jeff.
Hey guys, a few months ago when the new Mad Max movie came out, I went to the movie theater and there was only a few people in there, but then this guy came in with his 2 small kids and they cried the whole time because they were scared, which I don't blame them. The small kids, and there's violence and explosion and everyone's like weird in that movie, but they were just disrupting everything, crying, wanting to go home, and the dad just sat there and did nothing. And it's like just an ignorant person of why you're bringing your 2 small kids to that movie.
It did not do the ambiance, though. Like, we really are in hell. But yeah, if you're, first of all, it doesn't have to be scary. You're crying because it's not a cartoon when you're a kid.
Right. They're crying because they're bored and they want to move around.
Yeah, we're not actually saying that kids are bad. They're just put in uncomfortable situations that they don't want to be in. That's
Right.
all.
Parents are bad. There are a lot of bad parents.
I think that you said it best. They don't want to break their old life. They want to keep that old life going. They still want to go to Mad Max. They still want to go to a bar.
The bar, that really kills me, though.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so much
Constantly.
violence that could fucking happen. Like, why are you bringing your child into that?
Yeah, but he's wearing a little Giant shirt, so he's going to be cheering along with us.
For the 2 seconds he paid attention.
I also witnessed an argument with a customer to a bartender asking him if he had a pencil because his kid had to do his homework. And he said,
That's fucking
I don't
weird.
have that. And he's just like, you don't have a pencil? And he's like, well, I have a pen. And he's like, he can't do his homework in pen. And the bartender's face was just like blank. Like,
what kind of bar is this?
I don't know what to tell you, dude.
I don't have a pencil. I can't give him a shot because I'm a bartender. That's the kind of things that I
Things
have.
I can do for you.
How is he going to do? He's in second grade. How is he going to do his homework with a pen? You're fucking an insane bartender. You understand that? You're the worst bartender ever. And I'm telling Yelp that there's no coloring supplies.
Oh, no.
See, here's the weird thing. They want to take kids to a bar, but then adults are buying more coloring books than ever. We fucking flipped the world back and forth. We Benjamin Buttoned ourselves.
Ugh.
Oh, God. I wish there was a way for America to hang itself. Just to fucking wrap a rope around the states and lift itself up. I guess throw it up on the moon, lift itself up until fucking Florida's just dangling back and forth.
Just carve Earth was here into the moon.
Well, France apparently does it right. They keep getting articles out about France. They don't have ADHD in France.
They've eliminated it?
I don't know if they've never had
How'd
it.
they do it?
Probably they let them drink so young.
What is it? Bread? Really good crisp bread?
It's so good. Their butter, oof, yummy.
Yeah, everything about the French is fucking unbelievable.
Right, their fries.
Why would you have ADHD?
I wouldn't if I was over there. I'd be just constantly painting and fucking.
On vacation.
Yeah, I would just be like going out in the vineyards.
Yeah.
Like looking at grapes. I think this one's ready. You know what I mean? Like I would know everything.
Stomp on it, Maurice. Stomp on it.
I'd know everything there was to know about grapes.
Right.
You know, if someone wouldn't speak English to me, I'd just start fucking cursing at them. I'd hate Uber drivers, you know. So I saw that riot there the other day.
Pissed.
I do everything fucking French that I possibly could.
Don't kill Charlie, whatever his name was.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The cartoonist, whatever.
Oh, you mean that whole fucking
that's
deal.
not funny.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't them that do it. That was the Muslims.
The Muslims.
Once again, you
let's be fair.
Muslims. If I saw like a little Muslim baby crying, I said, I'm going to draw a picture of God right now if you don't stop it. I'm going to draw a picture of Allah.
Wow.
Here's our buddy Andy.
Hey, guys. I actually had a pediatrician save my life when I was a toddler by just snapping and screaming at me. I had a nasty habit of wandering into the bathroom and helping myself to the Benadryl and what other cough syrups I could hastily down. And after the second time he had to pump my stomach, he just sat me up in the office, grabbed my shoulders, and kind of bounced me on my ass and said, "Don't ever do that again." And I never did. There was something about that man with the bad toupee, Doc Losandro, who was normally this really gentle soul, just like screaming at the top of his lungs at me. It blew my hair back, and it's something triggered. I never did that. But it took somebody else besides my parents to
Well, I've always said that, you know what I mean? Like, babies are lined up to not necessarily listen to their parents. That's why when they said it was extended families were better, because the grandparents were more involved with their life and they would listen, or uncles, you know, an uncle would come over. Hey, Gina, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? That's not our way, all right? You can't be running around here like an abundant, all right? You got to do things nice, all right? Make everything nice as you're doing. And they said that a kid is more likely to listen to advice, the same advice from an uncle or an aunt, than he would from his own parents. The African tribes knew that. They would just take the baby and say, we have a baby.
Let's work on this.
Yeah, all you guys do whatever you need. Bring it back here at night. And I'll keep an eye on your kids.
It's a way to do it.
It's weird. There's something about a kid where they just like, shut up. You know what I mean? Like they just think I got to test this person all the time.
It's like they're too comfortable, too close. For the same reason, like you probably argue with your significant other more than you would argue with like a friend or a coworker or like someone you just met on the
breeds contempt.
Well, yeah, or else you just act like you're really interested in them. Really? So you have fish, do you? And you're like paying attention like that. And then, you know, your chick says something like, you know, my mom's having pancreatic. Please, watching fucking TV right now. I'm sorry, what were you saying about fish? Like, when I see how some people just treat strangers on the street, you know what I mean? They're very giving to them. And I'm like, well, what is this fucking act that you're doing?
Yeah.
Because I know you. You don't act like this. You're not interested in anybody. There's a very weird thing about people.
It's easier to respect strangers, I think.
But why? Why is that?
I don't know. I think it just has to do with comfortability. It's like the more you get to know somebody, you're like, oh, you're not so perfect yourself, you know, like maybe that's how kids see like their parents in that.
See, I think it would be better if we didn't have a memory, you know? So then like every time you went out with your chick, it's like a first date. You're just like, oh, hope everything goes well.
Hey, fuck this up.
Do you have any kids? 2. Do you got any pictures of them?
Look on your own iPhone.
Oh, this is your oldest. Beauty. Just a beauty. How's your eyes? Yeah, there should be there should be a fucking phone app for just how much people lie when they meet other people. You know what I mean?
Or a drinking app, if you could figure out that they were lying.
Well, you're just sitting there and you're going like this. You're acting so attentive. You know what I mean? Are you really that way? Chris Stanley is the fucking producer of the show. So yesterday we had a quick meeting about the Montreal stuff. So we're all sitting over there. And during the meeting, I hear, he's over just typing away, ignoring us. And I'm like, he's very comfortable being here. When the new people are all like, yeah, I was thinking and I've jotted down some ideas for what we could be doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they're totally enraptured. That's why when you hire people, you should only keep them for like 2 months, no matter what is happening.
I loved you, Joey.
After 2 months, they just start to act like they're home. You know what I mean? And they ignore you.
Stupid.
But I think it's completely true of dating that you just sit around, you just try to think of ways to surprise a new person.
Yeah.
Why?
Or like show some better version of yourself. Like it's also like it's not only that you connect with them better, but then you're like, I need to be good. Like I need to be a good person.
That's true. It really is. You're at your best when you're just.
But if you've been with someone a long time, you're just like, you know, I'm a shitty person. You know, this is who I am.
Accept me.
You knew going into this.
Not really. You acted so nice.
Wait, did I?
You said you had all those interests.
You could tell I was lying.
Because I remember we used to go to museums. You would sit and stare at paintings and bring up things that you had learned.
It was an act!
Let's break. Michelle, you hanging out for a while?
I gotta get going and working on my work.
What are you doing over there anyway?
I gotta put the stuff on demand because that happens. And
we don't do that here.
No?
Well, our app just stinks so bad, there's no reason.
It has gotten better 100%.
Not ours.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
We have the same app, right?
No.
No?
No, we're on a shitty one.
Well, don't have any power anymore, so I can't help you.
Those were great days.
Weren't they?
Did. Yeah.
Remember that?
You blew it. You fucking attached yourself to a radio show.
I fucked up. But I'm happy.
How's she doing over there?
She's great.
You know, Gail loves her.
Adore.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Loves her.
Adore.
Well, I'll see if I can get you guys in the same room together, maybe on the mics together.
Oh, la-dee-da.
Granted, I have no power, remember.
Make sure I get a little picture here for my phone.
Do you want to wait until there's the hair's not pink anymore, or just blonde?
No, I'm fine with the pink.
What about both? Maybe I could do both.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Right?
All right, we'll break. We'll be back without Michelle.
Thank you guys for having me.
Always we'll have you. It's the Bennington
that's
Show.
So sweet.
We were just down looking at Jake Gyllenhaal during the break. He's, I guess, live over there on Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah.
And Leeds told me that the movie Southpaw is great.
Really?
Yeah, it's a boxing movie.
I've seen the trailers, and it was all over the fight night last weekend. They were just pushing Southpaw constantly.
If we always talk about boxing not being popular anymore. Boxing movies have never lost popularity, and there's been at least one boxing movie out every year since they started making movies.
I will always go see a boxing movie. I don't know what it is.
Are you going to Southpaw?
I will. I will see Southpaw.
You loved Jake's last movie, right?
Nightcrawler.
Yeah, Nightcrawler.
I did. I thought he was so good.
I thought it was great. I thought it could have become a TV show. Like, just every week there would be different stuff.
Because that was such a wild character, and it was weird. There were so many, films being talked about last year during the Oscars, and it just was not getting enough heat. I just thought it was so good.
Well, small movies, it's tough.
Yeah.
Because you got to put so much money into the marketing, even to marketing to critics.
But it seemed like the kind of role that they like. He's weird, and they always love when somebody drastically changes their appearance.
Right.
And he got so super tiny. Like, you've never seen him look so tiny. It's weird
this
to
new
think.
Movie, he's crazy ripped.
Yeah, he's huge.
I don't know if he's huge, but he's like a knotted rope. You know what I mean? Like,
just muscle.
You can see every muscle, rib. What's the Rotten Tomatoes on this right now, Chris? How many tomatoes they throwing at this movie?
I'm finding it right now.
Find it right now.
67%.
Okay, that's not great. But I don't trust those people anyway.
No, you
But
shouldn't.
I do trust the number. If something seems like it's even slightly bad, I'm out.
Can't risk it.
No, can't risk sitting down for 2 hours and not being totally enthralled 100%. People are acting now like True Detective is hurting them, and it's the worst. I'm seeing people write like, this is the worst show ever. And I'm like, you haven't watched much TV then.
Yeah.
Because at the very least, you have movie stars in this. I'm sorry. I've watched Vince Vaughn in a lot of fucking bad movies and can keep watching him.
He's by far the best character in that show, and there's nothing wrong.
Oh, I don't even agree at all. No, I feel like I wish I was directing and writing and going in and fixing the Vince Vaughn part.
Yeah.
And let him be in a little more Vincier.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they've got a well they haven't tapped.
They haven't tapped the well. But he is on. I've watched him in terrible movies and just kept right on watching.
Yeah.
Just hoping he'll get another Vince line out.
Vince Vaughn will save me.
There are a lot of people. Well, I think that you're a true movie star when you can be watched in a bad movie. And I'm going to give you my number one example. If it's 1:00 in the morning, I can't sleep. Denzel Washington can be in the shittiest fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I'll still watch it. And I'm like, and now instead of trying to get to sleep, I'm like, I got to stay awake and find out if once again he solves the crime. He's always some detective or somebody that used to be a detective and now shouldn't be messed with, has skills they didn't imagine. That to me is when you are a true movie star. All right, Joey Jojo, who's a movie star that you can watch in a movie that you don't even like?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Well, then you have plenty to watch.
Yeah.
Because he's done more bad movies than anyone.
I would agree with that. But for me, I would say, and this is going to be weird, I think people are not going to understand, but I'm going to say Nick Cage because...
First of all, what are you talking about? I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, but I think that some people get it mixed up in their head, like, oh, Nick Cage is bad or something. But if you watch, when he has a movie that is like off the rails crazy, it doesn't make any sense, at the very least, it's a guarantee that Nick Cage is going to be crazy and like really like a wild character and that you can't take your eye off him.
Well, I had a conversation with Nick Cage once, and we got into about acting. And he basically says he's doing a different kind of acting than other people. So Christopher Walken is the same way.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken has decided to do something different with characters other than bring reality to it. So I said Denzel. I think we all agree.
Yes.
Joey Jojo said Sam Jackson. we know we agree because
Yeah.
he keeps making movies. And most of these movies are awful. Nick Cage, that's a gimme.
Yeah.
And yes, it's fun to do impressions of him or put a meme up of him because he is such an overactor. But you're not going to turn off his terrible Bad Lieutenant movie.
No.
Never.
And he's like always fascinating. Like you're always just like, how is he real?
I would say you are a movie star when you do watchable bad movies more than, let's say, an Al Pacino who picked a lot of good movies. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, an actor goes out of their way to find these good movies, but a movie star is a movie star no matter how bad the movies are.
Right.
I brought up, there's nothing worse than Elvis movies. And I'll never turn off an Elvis movie because it's Elvis.
Yeah.
And they're hilariously bad. They're so fucking bad that I can't believe it. 866-766-0339. 866-766-0339. Let's have this discussion of watchable movie stars in bad movies. Watchable movie stars in bad movies. Because to me, that's the litmus test. Now I'm going to go over here to Chris Stanley.
All right.
And if, by the way, if you had disagreed with anything that anybody's put up in the team so far.
No, I think they're all strong.
So you've got to stay in that range.
Okay.
You've got to give us a movie star
Yeah.
that can fit into the range that the three that you've heard already.
Okay.
Okay.
I got one. Mr. James Woods. He's been in some bad films, and I will watch them because I love James Woods.
He's also done many good films.
He's done a lot of good films.
He's definitely not a movie star. He's a great actor, which gets called character actor. So, first of all, I don't turn him off in anything, but do I put him in the movie star role? Gail, you're going to get a shot at this.
I am going to say yes, because I think I don't think he's as big of a movie star as the ones we've named where they have that giant movie star.
No, he's never been the reason that people go to movies.
But I will say he is in the same reign of like, he's a great actor who can like make you care about a movie and make you entertained, whether or not that plot is good.
I think he's actor first, and maybe even actor first above all the people that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Are you going to give the James Wood a pass?
I will give him a pass too. I agree with Gail.
All right, Chris Stanley, you're in on that James Woods.
I skated in. On Jimmy Woods.
Look, we all agree that he's incredibly watchable. I was actually giving him a thing of, when James Woods is the star of a movie, it's a fucking good movie. And I'll take you through a list of movies that he was the lead actor on, and they're fucking tremendous. That fucking Nicaragua movie that he did with Oliver Stone,
Yeah.
the same year fucking Platoon came out. This movie's like 100 times better than Platoon, and Platoon got all the accolades. He's never, the Onion Field, you could go on and on with films that he's done that, he should be, a giant movie star. Tom in Jersey. What's up, Tom?
Hey, how you doing, guys? I got Billy Bob Thornton. How about him? Armageddon? I mean, come on, he's the only good one in that.
Well, I will also say that he's incredibly watchable. I know, Chris, this is probably your biggest thrill the day that Billy Bob came in here.
Oh, when Billy Bob's come in twice, and it blew my mind both times. I love Billy Bob Thornton.
I didn't know you're such a big Billy Bob.
Love him. There's no one. There's not too many more people in Hollywood that I fucking like more than Billy Bob.
Then why didn't you use him as part of yours? Why did you go to James Woods?
I like James Woods too.
You need to see a movie called Sling Blade. I think you're going to like it.
I'm gonna write that down.
Does Billy Bob do enough bad movies, though? Yeah, I guess he does.
Yeah, I think he does.
He's normally the best thing in any movie. All right, Billy Bob is going to make the list.
Billy Bob's in.
Let's go over here to David. David.
Hey, Ronnie. Yeah, 90% of every movie Burt Reynolds ever made is horrible, but I'll watch every single one of them.
Man, at one point in the 70s, Burt Reynolds was the #1 movie star in the world. Mainly he did a lot of driving and crashing movies. I don't know.
He was the Nick Cage of the 70s.
Gail, are you going to let Burt Reynolds in?
I don't know. I don't know if that's...
Gotta know. Joey, do you know?
I don't think I would.
Snap decision, no. Burt Reynolds out.
Wow. I had voted yes for him. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
No dice.
Dave, what do you got?
Yes, hello?
Yes.
Yeah, James Caan, I think he never really became a star, but he's got a star air, and people haven't seen the movie The Gambler. The 72 version, he was great.
Oh, he's phenomenal in it. I mean, first of all, I would disagree with you saying that he never became a star. I could sit and name, to me, he stole the fucking Godfather.
Right.
Sonny's the fucking shit in that movie. There's a little movie about Brian Piccolo I can't even bring up right now. The Gambler that you mentioned, Thief. You could make the case that he stole Bottle Rocket.
Yeah. Hilarious performance in that. Here's how I would decide.
Okay.
If you were sitting around at night and a movie pops on and the opening scene is really terrible. It just looks really bad.
Yeah.
And then the opening credits start to roll and you saw James Caan is in this movie. Would you go, actually, let's see what's going on. James Caan's going to show up.
I did that yesterday with Walken when I was watching Brain Waves, from the 70s.
Brainstorm?
Brainstorm.
It's an awesome name.
The movie is fucking terrible, and I watched every minute of it, and I'm going, this could have been good. It's too bad. It wasn't. But I spent 2 hours watching it.
Would you do that with James Caan?
Yeah.
I would agree.
I would do that for the great Jimmy Caan. Let's go over here to let's go to Aaron first. Aaron.
Yes, sir. Hey, Ron, how you doing, bud?
Good.
Hey, I don't know who the fuck Al Pacino pissed off, but have you seen that piece of shit Jack and Jill that Sandler put out?
Well, he took a bunch of money to do a Sandler film.
Fuck. Terrible.
Yeah.
Him doing The Godfather, doing Shakespeare in Jack and Jill.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't think you understand the concept of what we're talking about here. It isn't that Al Pacino became 70 and doesn't get the fucking, the big budget films they used to, or that he's willing to take money and do something. All these guys, when they hit a certain age, are like, yeah, I'll play Superman's dad. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I just got to put away some money. I partied so hard for 50 years. I've got nothing to give my children.
The thing would be if you were like, I would watch that movie because I love Al Pacino so much that I know he's going to bring something.
Right. That would be the point of what we're talking about here. Pedro, I'm voting for you.
James Spader? It's got to be James Spader. Come on. All those movies are crazy.
James Spader has done a lot of movies. He's incredibly watchable. And it's the reason why he's on a bad TV show. It's really a bad show from a plot point of view.
But people love that show because of his character,
Spader.
right?
Yeah. Of Spader. That's the only reason. And by the way, that show, which is watched by people, is worse than fucking True Detective.
Right,
you know what I mean? Anything CSI, they're worse than True Detective. You're comparing this season of True Detective with the other season of True Detective.
Right.
But don't say it's one of the worst TV shows ever. There's a lot of bad TV shows out there.
Which everyone, again, forgets that there was a huge fall from grace with that last True Detective. Everyone was so happy and then became so disappointed.
It was the lost syndrome there where, you stayed with it hoping there would be a payoff and it wasn't. But it doesn't mean that you didn't get enjoyment out of
the
watching the show
and,
for a while. Yeah. Yeah, TV shows have to be about character more than plot. This thing is attempting to be about plot, and that's why people don't like it so much. Because you're like, wait, who are the Russians? What happened? There was a land deal.
There's a pimp.
Wait, who else was missing? They think they're fucking Chinatown.
I was struggling with it the first couple episodes. Now I'm just letting that information wash over me. Like, if I get it, okay, fine. But if I don't know who someone is, I'm not going to keep rewinding to try to be like, wait, what did he say?
That's how I feel about talking with the boss. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
And then whatever got agreed upon, just let it go. Just let it go. Bill, go ahead.
I would say the white Samuel Jackson, Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis hasn't done many good movies. Down to the point where you wonder if he even reads scripts.
Yeah, I'm free. I'll do it.
He did have like a good 25-year run opening movies, and now can get into movies. It's not exactly a Bruce Willis movie the way it used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess he's the very definition, and this is why he was a movie star.
Yeah.
Because there is something watchable about him, even though he's playing the rogue cop for the 800th time.
Yeah, and if you saw that same trailer of like whatever generic rogue cop movie, and it was not Bruce Willis, you would probably be like, ugh.
You just hit me with something interesting, though. How many Bruce Willises have I actually gone to the movie theater to see? I mean, I think I got to go all the way back to Sixth Sense since the last time I went to see Bruce Willis, which wasn't even in this fucking century.
I saw one of the newer Die Hards in the theater.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No. I didn't even see Sixth Sense in the theaters. I can't remember the last thing I saw him in theaters for.
So then it must have been spoiled for you then, if you waited so long.
No, it wasn't actually.
He reads the Wikipedia before he goes to any movie.
This was before Wikipedia.
You didn't know? No one told you?
No, I remember my mom rented it, and I was like, oh, I heard about this movie. But I didn't know that he was dead the entire time. Spoiler alert.
They had their time. They had their time.
The Fifth Element was the last Bruce Willis movie I saw in theaters.
Oh, that I saw in the theater.
Did I see that in the theater?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was 97.
We did see it in the theater. I remember it. Remember it well.
How many elements were there?
Aside from the regular?
Fire, wind, earth, water. And yet there is a fifth element. Love.
Figure it out, Bruce.
Love, Kelly.
I'm trying to destroy the universe so I'll have all the money. You're not even making any fucking sense, Dr. Evil. 0 cents. Jim, go ahead, buddy.
Hey, the worst, Steven Seagal.
See, you can't, we're not going by the worst.
Yeah.
This is why I need a phone screener to explain to people what the premise is about.
Just
we're not talking about the worst movies.
Do you really love Steven Seagal?
No, you don't.
You got to say, this is a guy that I will watch the movie for. Garrison.
Good morning or good afternoon, Team Bennington.
Hey, what's up?
John Wayne. Doesn't matter what he's in.
John
Does not
Wayne
matter.
is probably the definitive version of this.
Yeah.
Because my dad would always say, a John Wayne movie. He didn't give a shit what it was.
Yeah.
It was just a John Wayne movie.
Yeah, and most of those aren't great with the plots. They don't have a lot of other good characters. It's just John Wayne acting like John Wayne.
Yeah, the Indian has stole somebody.
Yeah.
Stole a girl. He's got to
Sure.
hunt down, or somebody committed something. He's got to hunt down.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him fight a giant octopus once as a deep sea diver. That was awesome. Doesn't matter what happened.
What's your favorite John Wayne movie?
I remember that was Reap the Wild Wind, I believe it was called. That was the one I would watch with my
That's your
dad the
favorite?
most. That was the one I watched with my dad the most.
So you're not even picking a cowboy movie. That's shocking. Joey.
Searchers.
John Ford classic. What about for you?
What was the one that the Coen brothers redid?
True Grit.
True Grit. Love True Grit.
Mine is The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Yeah.
Which was a John Wayne movie that actually choked me up at the end of it.
I saw that for the first time only a couple years ago. It's great.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And a lot of his movies are not unbelievable. Billy, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Ronnie?
Hey.
So I was the other day. My sister was watching some goofy fucking kids movie, and I turned and I look. It's like, holy shit, that's Michael Madsen, isn't it? I love Michael Madsen so much, and he will take literally any role.
Well, he does like 9 movies a year.
Sure. Yeah.
And most of them don't even make it to TV. I would disagree. I mean, the Michael Madsen movies that are true movies, you can watch.
Right.
But he does stuff that's we'll never even get to see.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if it was a late night, but I don't think that you would go to a movie, like go to the theater, just because it's like, oh, looks kind of bad, but Michael Madsen
No,
is in it.
it doesn't happen that way. And I don't even know you just don't know how poor some of the things that he's in now. But I guess if you do 9 movies a year that pay you $250,000, it starts to add up.
Oh, sure.
You know?
Makes a lot of sense.
He's got 15 things in post-production right now.
Post. That means they're finished.
Yeah, they're coming out. They're coming.
Yeah. By the way, their post-production means putting it in shrink wrap. Because they're just shot on fucking iPhones.
Straight to streaming.
Michael Madsen was in Big Time in Hollywood, Florida, the TV show this year. One that you guys need to watch.
He was a great private dick.
He loves saying that.
He does.
And he'll say, "This is my private dick," and squeeze himself. Carlos, but thanks for the extra information, Chris. Carlos, go ahead.
Hold on, Ronnie B. Hey, Stallone, when you see him in movies like Daylight, you can't believe it, but when you see him in movies like Copland, he plays a good, sympathetic character, so you got to watch him.
I'm going to disagree. I cannot watch those Stallone movies. I know, I will agree that he was a movie star for a long time, and if someone brings up Copland to me like it's great, because it isn't, you know what I mean? It really isn't.
I heard all the great things about it.
Yeah. I mean, it was great because he kept his shirt on and, didn't do the hack Stallone thing. And I give him credit. I think he's done more with less than he ever should have. But no, I can't watch those movies. I just can't.
He's made some really terrible films, like the one where he was a Formula One driver, and that thing was horrible. And then he remade Get Carter. It's just one after another, just terrible films.
Yeah, and those films that I haven't watched.
He made all those extra Rambos.
Yeah, I don't see that. I mean, at least those are, ones that he can open and go out and say these are big, but he's shot so many other fucking just shitty things, just terrible. And it looks like he's not even aware of it.
He's made like 3 or 4 Expendable movies.
I haven't seen one.
Don't.
I haven't seen a single Expendable. Hey Cam, what's up, buddy? Oh, go ahead, Cam.
Yeah, hey, anytime I see that John Goodman's in a movie, I know I'm always going to at least like that part of the movie. And he's in a lot of shit and a lot of great movies.
Well, he's, again, I would say that he's a character actor more than a movie star, but he's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah. I think like he could save a movie for sure. But again, because it's more of a character actor thing, it's not like that they're going to be the majority of the movie. So it's a harder sell, I think, for someone like that.
He's normally the best thing in a Coen Brother movie, which is fucking means that it's like saying like he's probably the best Yankee of all time. You know what I mean? Like it's a really tough field, and he'll come on to some of those things only for a couple of minutes, and you're like, well, the one that with the Oscar Isaac one that they did, he was barely in that movie playing this junkie jazz guy, and there was a buzz that maybe he'd get nominated. I don't even think he stood up. You know what I mean? I don't even think he had a fucking scene where he was out of the back seat. There was maybe 2 scenes. And you're just like, fuck, that was unbelievable. Look who it is. It's our old buddy Blowhard.
Ronnie, you mentioned the movie Brainstorm.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I had problems with that movie, besides, the awful script, was that was the movie where Natalie Wood died during a production.
Right.
And she was a star in the movie, obviously, and they had issues trying to get her scenes, and they had to re-edit the whole film.
Well, they just did that with Philip Seymour Hoffman. I mean, you're in a real problem when someone dies during the movie because you can't exactly go, we're not going to do this. Heath Ledger, they acted like he turned into another person.
Yeah.
And Philip Seymour Hoffman's, I haven't even gone back and been able to watch any movie that he has. That they say that this new Robin Williams is terrific. In this year, I haven't been able to watch a Robin Williams movie. By the way, today, his birthday.
Oh, is that right?
Screw him. I just saw the worst movie, probably not even in his category, in his movies, but it was called The Angriest Man in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And it was one of the worst films I've ever seen, Robin Williams playing. But anyway, getting back to the topic at hand, there is no way I could stop watching a Schwarzenegger film, and I'll tell you why. It's not that the movies excite me. It's not the explosions. It's not the dialogue or the script. It's every time Arnold talks, I just laugh.
I'm not of that mindset, and I understand he's been
I didn't watch any Schwarzenegger film, and
I can't.
There's a Schwarzenegger film, and it's a gem. And if you ever come across it, it was when it first came to America. It's called Hercules in New York.
It's terrible.
It's awful. It's old New York in the 70s, and he was so bad they dubbed in his voice, and he played Hercules, and he landed in Central Park. And he was beaten up on muggers, and they had this voiceover artist, hey, I'm Hercules, and it was the most...
everybody is saying this stuff is up on YouTube. Does it work for you, Chris?
No, there's been so many bad
Joey?
No.
Oh, come on.
To me, it's almost just the opposite. If you take I guess it was Bruce Willis, Schwarzenegger, and Stallone, right? They were the three big action stars.
Yeah.
Bruce to me is the only one that's watchable, and I
would agree with that.
Sometimes I'll watch his movies and I'm like, how cynical are you, dude? Because I know you can act. You know what I mean? I know you can, and you're just taking this kind of shit. That Demi Moore. Don't worry about it. That Demi Moore thing. I've been a little obsessed with lately about the person drowning in the pool.
Oh yeah.
So she's not home. The daughters are not home. An assistant or something throws a party. So here's the deal with it. They're all, just partying, having a good time. And they fall asleep on rafts in the pool.
Oh.
And one of the kids rolls off the raft and he doesn't swim. And it reminded me of Chris Stanley, because I know that you don't swim in it. It amazes me. Here's what amazes me. If you don't swim and you on a raft in a pool.
That seems like a bad idea.
I would feel like I would feel like I was surrounded by fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why you'd be like so cavalier of, I've got this little raft. Because rafts pop all the time and they're shoddy. Sink. So why are you laying on a raft?
I'm not.
In a fucking pool if you don't swim. And I'm like, then I turn into a detective. I'm like, no, that can't be it.
Doesn't make sense.
There's some cover up. But Stanley, the fact that you don't swim, you get into pools and you get on boats.
Yeah.
I mean, to be on a boat when you don't swim makes every boat an airplane. That makes every fucking boat a small plane.
Would you get on a raft in a pool? Or have you been on a raft in a pool?
I've never been on a raft in the pool, but I feel like I would get on a raft in the pool. I feel like I would do that.
Would you go to sleep on one?
I'd pass out on one, probably.
See if you had a couple pops.
Yeah, sure. The sun's hot. We're enjoying a pool party. I've had a dozen drinks or so, yeah.
Why don't you commit to the one lesson that it would take you to learn to swim? One lesson.
Why don't you do it?
Maybe I'll look into it. Maybe does the city offer?
Yes.
Okay, it does.
The YMCA.
All right.
They do it for babies because they don't want the babies to drown.
Excuse me, put these babies out of the way. I need to learn how to swim.
You don't swim and you're on an island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough being surrounded
It's
by all
only
this
an
water
island if you look at it from the
Were
water.
you terrified of it when you were little? Were you terrified of water?
Yeah, oh, yeah. And then, like, Jaws came out, and then I refused to go into the ocean or pools or anything else, so that, like, just fucking made it even worse. So I was just, like, anxious around a pool. It was bad.
Jaws came out before you were born.
Well, when I saw Jaws, rather. When I saw Jaws, that's what I meant.
When I went back in time and saw Jaws being shot on the beach.
When The Godfather came out last week, I really enjoyed
Here's
it.
what I think. I think you're just making up excuses for something that you're already terrified. I think that's just a detail that you added to it.
Yeah.
But I think something probably happened to you as a child. You know what I mean? Left in a tub or something like that.
My parents say I almost drowned in the pool and a stranger had to find me. My parents.
Two air quotes to that.
I don't know. I don't trust the fucking story.
So it sounds like we got to it immediately by just asking the question. Why did you almost drown?
They said I just jumped into the pool and like I was a little kid. So I just jumped in. I didn't realize it was so deep. And then they were like, where is he? Where's Chris? And then a fucking stranger had to grab me. And they're like, this stranger saved your life. I'm like, you didn't even know his name? You didn't even get the fucking guy's name. He saved your kid's life?
Why didn't they jump in the pool?
No idea.
Did they not swim?
No, they could swim.
Were they playing your family's favorite game? Go, 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 go.
Most likely.
So
Cocktails.
like you fell into a public pool, someone saved you and then brought you back to them. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's such a fucking terrible story.
They weren't watching you at the time.
Yeah.
They were a Michelle type parent.
Exactly.
Sure. I think you should learn.
Here's our buddy Gorilla Bob. Who are you talking
how
to,
we
Bob?
doing, buddy? How's everything? Everything good?
I'm good. How about you? You doing all right?
Doing all right. Hey, none of your business.
Are you sure? Why don't you just share with me a little bit?
Everything's good. You know what sucks is the fucking app from this place. I'm listening to you guys. I'm tooling down the road, having a great time, and all of a sudden, I'm listening to Florentine do stand-up. Then
Well, that's
2 minutes
good.
later, I'm listening to somebody else do stand-up, and then I'm back to you guys.
It's a
So
fucking nightmare.
Have you guys mentioned Robert Duvall yet?
Great actor, not really a true movie star, but a great actor. Normally the best thing of any movie that he's ever in. Let's face it, he stole the fucking Godfather away from James Caan.
I would say Robert Duvall. I would say he's an actor that I would go in for if the movie looked not so bad. I mean,
Hold on, all I heard was Florentine saying something about eating a girl's ass out.
Hello, Jim. Is that you?
Is that you, Jim? Yeah, he's normally the best thing in any movie.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if I would. Yeah.
That he fits Gail's criteria that if the movie is kind of sucked and then all of a sudden you see that he's going to be there, you'd stay with it and you'd watch it. Also, he was one of the best interviews you've ever done. So it was.
Do you think so? Because he just walked in off the street. And, like, I didn't even know that he was coming in. And they said, would you like to interview Robert Duvall?
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, of course. And they're like, yeah, he's right next door at Fox, and he can be over here in a couple minutes. I'm like, what the fuck?
And you just jumped on it?
Yeah, I just figured out, and I was right. I'd have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet Robert Duvall, you know?
That's amazing. And then to have someone say it's the best one.
Yeah, I think he's just being kind. You know what? My good friend, Gorilla Bob, big-ass prize closet for him. What's he getting, Joey?
Roseanarchy is signed by Roseanne Barr.
Whoa.
This guy's an ex-cop.
Okay.
What's he going to do sitting around reading fucking Roseanne Barr for?
All right, how about Todd Glass situation?
No, that's a better idea.
All right.
But you seem to be hung up on books lately, huh?
I have books. We have a lot of books in the office.
Why are you so sad about it?
I have books.
There's a lot of stuff that he left behind. A friend of mine was at Duvall's place. He didn't live that far from where I used to live in Fairfax, but way out in the ranches, you know, when you get out the Shenandoah Valley. So they went out there for a social visit because they were in this same they had the same hobby as Duvall. And I'm not going to get, I don't want to give too much away, but they're driving into the house, and on the barn, he has that church thing that points up at the sky.
Steeple?
Yeah, from that movie that he did, the one where he played the minister. Did you ever see that movie?
Oh, yeah, the Apostle?
Yeah, the Apostle. And that's just sitting like in his backyard.
Whoa.
That's crazy. Remember that church?
Yeah.
Had that crazy thing that was just like pointing up to God. And I'm like, that's the coolest shit I ever heard in my life. There's only one way to heaven, and he's so fucking amazing in that movie. By the way, your hero Billy Bob comes on just because they're buddies.
And he was in Sling Blade just because they're buddies.
Yeah, for the same reason. Yeah,
back and forth.
Yeah, they do stuff
God,
for each
he was
other.
so good in that too. Duvall was so good in that scene.
I mean, let's just sit down and come up with movies that Duvall is fucking great. He's unbelievable in Network. No one ever even brings that up. But he's that dude exactly.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Exactly. I've met that guy now that I've been to New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Around networks. That guy exists, and Duvall knew it. You know? He went and based himself, I'm sure, off, a studio head, but the money people who live in New York rather than, the straight LA guy. But you could do this he's amazing as Boo Radley, where he doesn't even fucking move. He's just phenomenal. He's in True Grit, your other fucking favorite movie. Like, people always think that his career starts with The Godfather. It did not. He's just terrific, man. You know what his favorite is? Lonesome Dove. He says it's the best thing he's ever done. I said to him, wrong. That is not the best thing he's ever done.
You are incorrect.
You're incorrect again. Brandon, go ahead.
Hi, what's going on, buddies?
Hey.
This is an actress. I know you guys have been talking about actors. About Goldie Hawn.
Well, it's the very definition of a movie star.
Yeah.
Her movie star reign. Very few of those things are great movies. But she is.
Yeah.
She's incredibly watched. I mean, she was on an awful fucking TV show and became a star. Laughing.
But that's adorable, that show. Maybe it's just because she's adorable.
She's amazing, but there's no funny jokes in that show.
Right.
And it's a comedy.
I never turned off Overboard. That was on my house a lot for some reason.
Perfect example. Terrible fucking movie. Watchable.
She's so good.
Yes. She's so good, and at a single scene, she puts on a G-string. It's like, don't turn it off yet. I'm going to keep watching this.
It's about to get good.
Everybody go to bed. I'm watching this movie.
Do you have an actress that you would say?
Well, there's a lot of actresses that I will watch doing almost anything. Actresses have a tendency that they have to pick better movies. They have to pick better movies than, let's say, Goldie Hawn did. So most of the actresses I'm talking about have picked good movies. Like, I don't turn off Holly Hunter under any circumstances.
For me, I have watched a lot of subpar type movies because Meryl Streep was in it. I've seen some corny, like, kind of chick flick type movies because she's in it. And because she always, brings, she always has full commitment to whatever she's doing, which I think is really endearing.
All right, so I think you're talking about that movie where it was, about the fashion industry.
Yes,
that's on
that
a lot,
one.
And it's kind of a terrible movie. And, she's the scene where she's, at her house and she's not all dolled up. It's just kind of heartbreaking and sad.
She's also been in a really bad movie, Death Becomes Her, with Goldie Hawn, which I don't turn off for some reason.
And Bruce Willis. Yeah. It's just terrible.
And Isabel Rossellini.
She was in that It's Complicated a couple years ago. I've watched it more than once.
The weed smoking is my favorite thing. I like to see people who haven't smoked weed in many years just get back into it. And Steve Martin is really fucking funny in that. Alec Baldwin is good in that too. But yes, it's not a good movie. It's first of all, she has a giant kitchen, and then she owns her own bakery, and then the whole thing is to make her kitchen bigger at home.
Yeah.
What the fuck? If you want a bakery, you don't have time to cook at home. You've cooked all day. It'd be like me going home and have a fucking radio studio set up. In my spare time, I like to do radio. It's fun. It's a way that I can express myself. But you're the first person who ever said, I like Meryl Streep because she's good in shitty movies. Because a lot of those movies get a lot of credit, and then I never watch them again. You know what I mean? A lot of the movies that she got nominated, give us the movies that Meryl Streep is nominated for, and I bet we don't think of them as good as their reviews. Come on, Chris.
It's coming.
I thought of this fucking seconds ago. How could you not have it?
It's coming. It's coming.
He's talking about shitting.
Oh.
If you don't have it, I'll just move on.
No, it's. I have it right here.
All you have to have is nominated. You got it, Joe?
I do.
All right, let's do it, Joey.
Deer Hunter, 1978.
Great movie. I didn't know she was nominated for that.
She was nominated as Best Supporting Actress.
Okay, I understand. Let's keep moving.
1979, Kramer versus Kramer.
Not a terrific movie. Got huge reviews at the time. Might even won Best Picture. She was great in it.
Yeah.
But not one of my favorite Dustin Hoffmans.
1981, The French Lieutenant's Woman.
I'm not crazy about it. Nominate it.
Sophie's Choice, 1982.
I know everybody loves it.
Yeah.
I don't watch that movie. Too sad.
It's fucked up.
But yeah, she's amazing in it. And so's Klein.
Silkwood, 1983.
Mike Nichols movie. I've never watched it the second time.
Yeah, I think I've only seen that one.
I will say give her a Silkwood shower when somebody really needs to be scrubbed hard.
1985, Out of Africa.
Again, I know a lot of people acted like it was marvelous.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about it.
This right here is a stretch from 1981 to 1999 where she was nominated for Best Actress and didn't win.
What's that got to do with anything?
Okay. Next one, 1987, Ironweed.
Only watched it the one time.
I didn't watch it. I've never seen it.
It's good. The weed's really fucking irony.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. It's an upstate New York drunk movie. I thought you guys would love it. It was based off a fucking Pulitzer Prize winning book. It's like if you and Chris Stanley, just if someone followed you guys around with a fucking camera.
I like the sounds of this. I'm going to watch Ironweed.
1988, A Cry in the Dark.
Thank you. Dingo Got My Baby, right? Is that the one?
I don't.
Probably.
Yeah.
That is the one, yeah.
1990, Postcards from the Edge.
Not a great movie. She plays, what's her name? The actress, Princess Leia.
Yes.
That's it?
1995, The Bridges of Madison County.
No.
I'm going to go back and rewatch that once, though. I only saw it the one
I've
time
only
and
seen
saw
it
it on TV. And there was like this, just an enormous backlash against it. You know, down to, what is Clint Eastwood doing? You know, but I'm going to go back and rewatch it. How many bridges were in Madison County? Did they say?
At least 3.
Okay. That's a lot from one county.
1998, One True Thing.
I don't even think
What
I
is
know
that?
this movie.
I don't know it.
It was in 1998. It was an American drama film directed by Carl Franklin.
No.
With Renee Zellweger and William Hurt. All right.
No, I don't know it.
I don't know that movie at all.
1999, Music of the Heart.
I think I forgot that one too.
It's a stretch here that.
Yeah.
All right. 2002.
Easy.
Adaptation.
Yeah, she's amazing. It's amazing.
It's she didn't win for that? She should have. She was
Catherine
amazing.
Zeta-Jones won for Chicago.
Well, what are you going to do, you know? She did sing and dance.
2006, the movie mentioned before, The Devil Wears Prada.
Yes.
For Best Actress.
Yes.
That was cinematography.
Yes. What else? That's it?
Doubt in 2008.
Loved her in that.
Yeah.
2009, Julie and Julia.
I watched it on a plane and enjoyed it probably more than I would have.
Her part was amazing. I didn't like Julie as much as I loved Julia.
In 2011, The Iron Lady, which she
I actually
won.
didn't see it.
I did. It was like watching the fucking TV show with the woman in it.
Right.
I mean, she had her down so much that I forgot I was watching fucking Streep. I was just thinking about her politics.
2013, August, Osage County.
Saw that. She was pretty amazing in it.
And last but not least, 2014, Into the Woods.
Never
Yeah, I
bothered
didn't-
watching
I
it yet.
didn't
That's
see
the
it.
musical.
Yeah.
Man, she's been nominated a lot, huh?
Yeah.
I haven't got one nomination.
And that was just Academy Awards. I didn't even get to the Kids' Choice Awards yet.
Imagine if they just fucking dropped that goop on her. I'd go fucking crazy. I'd run down there and start shooting children. I was mad
She's
when they
a
did it to
national
Jeter.
treasure.
When they did it to Jeter the other day and they gave him golden goop. Like, you motherfuckers. He walked out there to thank you guys. Because I'm watching this. It's on, like, Sports Center. And they're showing it. And, like, he's always he's sitting there and he's giving a speech about how you should be a good person, be nice to your friends. I'm like, what the fuck, is he a baby? And I didn't figure it out. He got some award from the children, so he's trying to teach them how to be good kids.
Look, kids, you gotta get out there.
Get along well with your teammates and listen to your parents. I was lucky I listened to my parents. I'm like, why is Jeter fucking talking like a fucking monologue? I do what my parents say. I'm Derek Jeter. What is wrong with you?
Why do kids like seeing adults get slimed so much?
First
it's been an interest that's been going on for like 30 years now with children.
The first time that someone got slimed when the kid laughed, that kid now is a fucking grandmother. You know what I mean? That's how long people are getting slimed. And now, I don't know whether you've seen it, but they shoot it out of cannons and it hits like it isn't
still just a bucket.
No, because they had the Kids Choice Awards. And we turned it over because Gail's cousins had FaceTimed, right? And while they were FaceTimed, they're like, what the fuck? And they were getting so mad at the TV because the wrong people were getting awards. So my chick turns it over, and I'm just like seeing this, just like flowing waters of slime.
Crossfire.
You know, it's like the fifth Bruckheimer movie, where it's just more like slime is coming up from the floor. Like, fuck, they like slime a lot.
They have slime scientists trying to figure out how to...
At least engineers, that's for sure, man. By the way, if you need to reach us, it's the Bennington Show at Gmail. We're going to later on this week be in Montreal. You can get tickets still to see Chris.
Mr. Chris D'Elia. That's happening Friday. Go to theinterrobang.com for a chance to win a free ticket. That's Chris D'Elia Unmasked in Montreal.
We'll mention this other Unmasked for New York tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes.
Tomorrow we'll do that. And the Reggie Watts Unmasked airs tonight at 8 p.m. on Raw Dog. That's a classic.
It's amazing.
That's a flat-out classic.
Performs on his iPhone.
Chris, you're on the Bennington Show.
Hey, Ron. What about Tom Cruise? He's got some stinkers out there, but really, devoted fully to
I mean, it would be easier to turn around and find what are the really good Tom Cruise movies,
Right.
as opposed what are the mediocre Tom Cruise movies. I mean, I'll easily make the fucking point that Top Gun is shit. And if that's true and it became a major hit, it's because of its movie stars. And the Mission Impossibles are as forgettable as you watch them, but people do watch them.
Yeah. I think it's not personally an answer for me, but I think clearly this country feels that way about Tom Cruise.
I've watched his last few movies. And I watched Oblivion. If he's in a sci-fi movie, I watch Edge of Tomorrow, the time travel one. I watched it. Like I went out and watched it.
You watched them all.
Yeah.
But did you go to the theater to watch them?
Edge of Tomorrow, I did. I was very excited to see that movie.
I had to see the last Mission Impossible because we had somebody on, and it was in an IMAX, and it was and I'm just like, this is too big, and there's too much going on. I just can't be assaulted. My senses were assaulted. My ears, everything. But I mean, I think if you look at stuff like Color of Money, and the list going on and on, it's got to be him.
Yeah, clearly.
I mean, what else is it?
I think this country feels that way wholeheartedly about Tom Cruise.
But, it's even like Tom Cruise as a lawyer or even Jerry Maguire. You watch those films. You watch.
See them all.
Yeah, Tom Cruise tried to be a lawyer.
I like The Firm. I like that movie.
Well, you got The Firm, and you got the other one where he was a Navy lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
It always starts like this. He's an outsider. He's too cocky. He yells at people. They yell at him. And then somehow he learns a certain lesson. He becomes a real team player. Real good dude. He's worthy of that girl that told him that he was useless.
Suddenly, he deserves her love.
Yeah, there's got to be something about Tom Cruise. Maybe it's Scientology that works so well.
It has to be. It's so close to being clear.
Oh, he's clear.
You think he's totally clear?
They said he's the number 2 guy there. If he murders the top guy, that's it.
Who's number 1?
Oh, no.
Secret guy?
The Pope of Scientology. But he's second behind the Pope of Scientology. He's right up there.
That guy's name's like Miskovich or something.
If that guy ruptured a bowel later when he sits down to take a fucking shit, Tom Cruise moves into number one. And I got a feeling we're all going to like Scientology a lot more.
Oh, sure. A lot more movies based around it.
I mean, if you know, and you could make the case of this, is that the Tom Cruise movies, his worst is kind of mediocre. You know what I mean? Like, there's a general safeness to his movies, but there's very few times where you're like, this is fucking embarrassing. The way, let's say, a John Travolta. We're just going to sit around and talk about, you know, like, Scientology stars and their abilities to pick scripts. Travolta's picked a ton of bad movies.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think, has Cruise ever gotten the shitty Raspberry Award or whatever that is? I don't think his movies are that atrocious.
Yeah, I think he's smart about the movies he picks, even the ones that are not good.
Well, he picks the ones that are certainly in his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, if he tries to do anything, like when he tried to be the German who, you know,
Valkyrie?
that didn't like Hitler, you're like, this doesn't fit you, Tom Cruise.
All right, he's won a couple of Razzies.
Okay, what does he want? Joe knows. Joe's has it.
God damn it.
In 1988, he won it for Cocktail.
Well, that's a pretty bad movie. And by the way, it made like $150 million in fucking 1988 terms. And it still runs on fucking TV. I still watch it. I act like I'm like, where's that bar now? What is that? 79th Street? Oh, he gets on the same stop as us. But it's terrible. And like I said, people are still doing that shit to this day.
But that was so early in his career. I think he like had to hit a stride where now.
Well, he actually did that in between two blockbusters, right? Like, it was like Top Gun and something else.
Oh, really?
And so he had time to sneak in another movie, and that one still made, you know, an immense amount of money at the time.
Yeah, it was between The Color of Money and Rain Man, and then Born on the 4th of July and Top Gun. I mean, that's Jesus. It's Top Gun, Color of Money, Cocktail, Rain Man, Born on the 4th of July.
Now, you could probably find all those movies on HBO fucking on demand right now. You know, these movies don't go away.
And he also won it in 2005 for War of the Worlds.
I don't.
You saw it at the theater, right?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I mean, I didn't think he was that cringy in it. Like that, there was like some, you know, some plot holes, sure. But while I was in that movie, I was totally in it, and I was like, "This is the scariest shit." Which everything makes that sound.
Oh, fuck, we're in real trouble here. Start running!
No!
I just heard the arm sound!
And I
was right through Chris's neighborhood, too.
I was so invested in that movie while I was watching it. And then, like, the walk back home, I was like, hey, wait a second.
Is water killed him?
That doesn't make sense. That's not good.
Sharon.
No!
Oh, God.
Did you guys hear that, right?
Did you guys hear that weird shalom? Is that it for his Razzies?
Those are the only two.
I don't think the last one was deserved.
He shared one in 1995 with Brad Pitt for Interview with the Vampire for Worst Screen Couple.
That's just mean. That's when you do shit.
Yeah, what the fuck?
First of all, it's anti-gay.
Yeah, right?
And then second of all, anti-Scientologist.
What's that problem, Razzies?
Where do you put Brad Pitt on Watch Him in Bad Movies?
I'll watch him in a bad movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, I'm starting to find out from this group that we'll pretty much watch any fucking movie that comes out, no matter who's in it. Doesn't matter who it is.
Oh, yeah,
There's
there.
something shiny in the corner, and I'm going to look at it.
Oh, wow. Wow, this is interesting.
The only thing we shot down was Blowhard, bringing up the biggest fucking movie star of the 1980s.
No.
Shut up, Blowhard.
You're wrong.
Shut up.
No one watches Eraser anymore.
Oh,
no.
Oh, God.
Run. But even in a movie like that, he was still the cocky guy who was an asshole at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And then he
Who at the
learned.
end of it proves that he's a good father and an ex-husband. I like when anyone proves themselves as an ex-husband.
Yeah. I'm a
I'm going to
pretty
be
good
a good
ex-husband.
ex-husband to you.
Oh, these kids like me more than you now.
I don't think that you do that. I think that when you're the good ex-husband, you're like, I think we've learned to put ourselves and our shit above it all. I wish I could have done some things differently, but you're happy with Steve now. And I just met Samantha, and she's only 15. So I gotta be careful.
Why are you telling me this?
Tom Cruise became a better guy. Took him a whole movie, but he became a better guy. I think some of the earlier plot points and how I got over them made me a better person. Better father and a better ex-husband. I just want to say I'm sorry. I screwed up.
He's changed.
And even though we're not going to live together anymore, I'll still be over to fix stuff or help with the kids. Like if you have a date night or going out with the girls, stuff like that.
Will you be bringing your 15-year-old girlfriend with you?
I was teasing. I was just testing to see if you're paying attention.
Oh, good. Good.
Oh, one last thing. I have a heroin problem. So I have a lot of heroin here in case I need it. If I ask for it, don't give it to me. But if I'm begging for it, give it to me immediately. Heroin. You got to really know how to dole it out. Scott.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Don't worry about it, Scott.
Keanu Reeves makes a lot of watchable bad movies.
Speed? I don't think so. Yeah, I would say this is true of Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
John Wick, I'll never turn that movie off. I just saw it this year. It's awesome.
Now, how many times have you watched it?
I've watched it 3 times. I've watched John Wick. I enjoy that movie. I didn't think I would, and I fucking do.
I can't tell you how bad it is when his puppy gets killed, though.
Oh, God, it's
I was
horrible.
really rocked to the core.
I think maybe once every weekend, my man says to me, "Hey, should we watch John Wick?" I'm like, I don't know if it's a John Wick night. It hasn't been a John Wick night for like 2 years, but it keeps being brought up.
Have you watched it?
No.
You're going to love it. You're going to fucking love it.
Awesome.
And I feel bad because I think what he's saying is, I really want to watch John Wick.
Yes, you know that's what
I'm going to watch it with him this weekend. I know he's been really pushing for it.
Make up because you didn't do anything nice for him last weekend. At least nothing you can talk about.
So true.
No!
Run, John Wick.
John Wick, fight those aliens with your rage.
The thing about John Wick is like he's kind of a washed up old killer. So he hasn't done it in years. But we're like, so are you saying that you were a killer back at Keanu Reeves' days? I don't think so.
Stone Cold Killer.
Yeah, because it's called the Babyface Killer. There's a hitman after you, but a hitman that you would fuck. His name is Keanu Reeves.
So bonus in that sense.
Any relation to Chris Reeves?
None.
I will watch Keanu Reeves movies and say to myself, I don't think he's that good of an actor. And yet I've watched him as much as anybody that's his age, you know?
But there is always some sort of weird Keanu Reeves element to everything that he does. I think that's why people keep coming back for it.
Well, you understand as you get older that the people are blessed, the ones who don't think too deeply. And he has the feeling
Yes.
that, you know, he's very happy whether he sleeps on the couch or
Yeah, like
whatever.
a puppy dog. He does have that.
He never took a bride, did he, Mr. Reeves?
Mm-mm.
No.
Never settled down.
Interesting.
But the sad Keanu thing went really big for the whole world.
Yes, every child paid attention to that, Chris. Glad that you're into it as well. It's a man sitting on a fucking fence.
Look how sad he looks.
He doesn't look he looks like anyone having their lunch in New York. This is a made up fucking thing.
It's sad.
Why don't you fucking show us more pictures of bacon and just write at the bottom of it?
Do you guys ever notice how good bacon tastes?
No, thanks for letting me know, though.
All right, Mike has a spy report for us.
Spy report.
Hey, guys, Donald Trump just read out Lindsey Graham's personal cell phone number during a speech in South Carolina.
Why did he do that?
He urged all his followers to call Lindsey Graham and let him know what he thinks of his comments.
This is something O&A used to do years ago.
Thomas is losing his mind.
He's way big.
Graham called him a jackass, so this is how he retaliates. No, this tells me don't fuck with Donald Trump.
Let's see. Up on the iBank today, for some reason, the memed of a girl bursting out of her dress. Which I thought Dan had to beat the joke on that. Is Dan around today?
Yeah, Dan's here.
I haven't seen him all day. All right, Dan normally sends a couple of beat the joke questions. On the girl bursting out of the dress, which of your jokes do I think was the good one?
Was it, what did you guys notice in that Vine? For us, it was the big tits.
Yes, that was a good one.
That made me laugh. That actually made me laugh.
It's a great Vine.
What was your joke, Chris?
If there were Oscars given out for Vines, this would win Best Picture, Best Directing, Best Acting, and Best Screenplay.
Oh, he destroyed you. Joe, what was your beat to joke?
She looked animated.
Gail, how about yours?
Mine was, it actually has the most loops by women for anyone who's ever had to stash the girls away for an 8-hour workday.
Oh, is that a tight thing to do?
Yeah, because I watched it a bunch of times and just kept on exhaling, like, that looks like it feels good.
See, that's something we would never get.
Oh, it's horrifying.
Is the dancing video up there?
Yes, it's back up.
So the girl with the big tits is great. What's the name of that title?
The cinematography, editing, and sound design of this Vine will blow your mind.
The legs.
These are not titles. These are not headlines.
I want to pull people in. Because they're like, wow.
I got bored and laid down reading it.
Did you?
Yeah, I saw. I'll come back to this later.
Get back up. Come
I
on.
folded my computer screen. All right, what's the other one called?
This is the most dangerous wedding dance ever.
Now, this is fucking hilarious for two reasons. Number one, the idiot comes in just being the biggest moron in the world. Like, I just can't stand the way either one of them are acting.
God.
All right.
And no one's laughing at his so-called funny jokes. No one is into this.
Oh, God.
Now watch. He knocks her shit out. Now watch this.
God.
He tries to act like she's okay and picks her up and she's knocked out again.
Oh, my God.
Holy shit.
Was that the bride and groom? Or was that a groomsman and a...
Looks
And the
like the
bride's-
bride and groom because she has the bouquet.
Yeah, but I think her dress is light blue.
Just-
God!
Oh!
So which one do you think is a better video? That one or the big tits?
I'm going to say this one. This is crazy.
I will say this. This one's better titled because it just says most dangerous wedding dancer ever. And what was the big tits one?
The cinematography, sound design, and directing of this Vine will blow your mind.
Okay. And what did you leave out of that? What word?
None?
Tits.
Yes.
It's the only
Yes.
thing. The only
Yeah.
reason to put that on
Yeah.
is that a woman with giant tits
Right.
leans back and kind of pops all the buttons. And you don't even bring up giant tits.
Giant Asian tits.
Yes, that would have been a perfect title.
Okay,
That's
you know
a
what?
good
I'm going to
one.
switch it up.
That's perfect.
Behold, giant Asian tits.
That's great.
Yeah. Or too bad there's only 2 giant Asian tits here. Any of them would have done great. We have no way to even tell people what to go to with yours.
I've learned a lesson today.
Speaking of tits, Joel Schumacher says he's glad he had the batsuit nipples put up, even after all these years.
Can I just say, I don't know why people were so upset about it. What was it that made everyone?
Here's the
It
thing.
made men upset, I'm guessing.
Well, it was just the example of how gay the entire movie was.
Right.
You know, that thing is just, it's the flag for it.
Sure.
There was a million reasons that movie stunk. And nipples is an easy way of saying it.
Yeah, the nipples was an obsession for everyone.
But
that
the,
they were
but
so
the reason
upset
is,
about those nips.
anyone who would focus on nipples was not going to focus on a good, violent Batman movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? you saw where it went. It was just all day glow and everything else. But yeah, you're right. It wasn't the only bad thing in it, but it is. First of all, does anyone build nipples into any suit? Women's? Like, imagine how mad you'd be if you're like, yes, in this movie, all the women's nipples will be.
I'm sure it's
in their
happened.
suit.
I mean, those superhero suits for ladies are ridiculous. That's why it doesn't bother me too much.
You think they're more ridiculous than the men's superhero suits are?
More sexualized.
Really?
Yes.
Than Robin?
Come on, that's not a good example. You're just putting in a child's
Wonder
costume.
Woman this is a chaste costume, right? This isn't even that bad.
Talking about the real superheroes.
Wonder Woman's a real superhero.
Jennifer Lawrence says she will not go back to X-Men because she's tired of the stank paint. And she goes, she's just breathing in those fumes and she can't stand it anymore.
Who did she play?
X-Girl.
X-Girl on the X-Men.
She was the blue one.
Mystique.
Mystique. That's it.
Oh, okay. It's hard to tell because she's all blue. I couldn't see her.
She's tired of blowing herself.
I blew myself.
Said Tobias. I blew myself, said Chris Stanley.
You
Happen
did say
again.
that.
And others.
No, not the last part.
That you're like, come on. You know I didn't do that.
So all those stories are up in the iBank today. Now, Chris, we have an interview coming up that you're excited about.
It's Miss Bo Derek.
Bo Derek, have you heard?
I'm so excited.
Well, here's the exciting part. Bo Derek is in Sharknado 3.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. I'm going to be honest here. There's some plot holes.
Okay.
Did you see the first two Sharknadoes?
I did, yes.
You'll love Sharknado 3 then.
Can't wait.
It's going to be right up your alley.
Even more sharks.
Good, because I thought the second one was lacking.
Did it?
Yeah, I was like, it's a Sharknado, but...
Well, we got it back.
Good.
And it's great because it's so topical after that surfer.
Not just topical, it's tropical.
It's
It's got both, yeah. It's top and tropical. So Bo Derek, who was in my lifetime the biggest sex symbol that's I don't think that we've had a sex symbol since
she's
that captured the world's heart the way she did.
Like the most iconic image too, just of like her in 10, I think is
still iconic.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen a white girl wear that hair and they're still wearing it and getting in trouble after all these years. But I never saw anyone go from not being known to being such a gigantic star as Bo Derek. And she and her husband, John Derek, people would talk about him all the time because he was a man cougar, I guess.
Right.
He was much older than him.
I think all men are man cougars, really. They all
Thank you.
have that.
Thank you. Feels good to be one. Just to be man cougar. And her husband, John Corbett, may be along as well. John Corbett from, your favorite TV show of all time, Chris. The Alaskan show.
Oh, Northern Exposure.
You said you and your mom watched that all the time?
It was popular in my household.
Yeah. He was great in it. And then he was part of the Sex of the City, My Big Greek Wedding. And now he's in Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll with Bobby Kelly. So, might have, them both. But Bo Derek, to me, will always be the famous, fantastic Bo Derek. And she kind of dropped off and she lives in my opinion, one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. She's out with horses every day. This ranch that she's had since she was with John Derek when she was a kid. She's a real, kind of Hollywood dropout story, but not for drugs or not for lack. Just this is stupid.
Right.
You know what I mean? What am I going to do? Keep making movies? I think it's kind of, that adds to the coolness about her.
She also maintained that sex symbol status, you know.
To this day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if you bring her up or you see her, everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's Bo Derek."
I know. Everyone is downright nervous in here.
Well, she had that, California girl. To this day, she looks like a healthy California girl.
Yeah.
Where we don't even know what that's like.
No.
We're like, well, what kind of drugs does she take? And why does she look good if you're up all night partying? She's not. I'm up all night in the studio, and she's down on her ranch. No regrets, Coyote. So, if something happens and I run off with her, I'll make a big deal out of it. It was meant to be.
You just give me the, like a symbol.
But I will tell you this. If you would have told me in, 1980, 1981, that movie came out?
Yeah.
You would say, oh, you're going to sit down and talk to Bo Derek someday. I probably would tossing and turning up until the break till last night.
When is it going to happen?
We're get a haircut. Break back with Bo Derek. This is Bennington. Bo Derek is running slowly into the room right now. One of the great, things in movies of all time. One of the most famous things ever happened in movies. Nice to see you, Bo.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
You're in Sharknado 3.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta tell you, I watched it. There's some real plot holes in this film.
Plot holes?
Yeah.
Really?
There's a couple of spots where I'm like, I don't know if that could happen. Did you have fun working on that, though? Was it a kick or?
It was a kick.
Yeah.
It's obviously it's about the sharks. It's not about us, the actors. It's we're the glue that keeps this shark story going. But it's fun to be part of something that is such a social event.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't going to be watching this alone. You get your friends together.
Right.
We're going to have my family's going to be together. There's going to be popcorn, drinks, and screaming and laughing, and that's very different.
Do you get together with your family much? Does that? Are you guys all close?
Yeah, we're very close. Yeah. I live out in the country, and slowly my whole family has moved up to the same area, and I'm very blessed.
Well, it's one of the most beautiful places in the world where you live.
It is.
And how long have you been on the ranch there?
St. Inez, I've been there 35 years.
Yeah.
My very first bit of money I made on 10, I put it all on a down payment and thought, it looks like I'm going to be making some more money, so I took the chance. It was the best thing I ever did.
I think, well, first of all, it's phenomenal because I remember seeing, maybe you were with Barbara Walters or somebody was on the ranch with you. And I remember thinking, what an amazing, beautiful place to be. And yet that area has stayed pretty much like that. It hasn't been spoiled, right?
No, it hasn't. When I first moved there, it was cattle and horses, I'd say, pretty much all. And then now it's become horses and vineyards.
Right. So
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, you cannot complain. Mm-hmm. It sure beats apartment buildings. But what an amazing thing to go back, and think that what happened to you, that you were able to roll it into something like that to give you just really this lifetime worth of comfort and love. I mean, that to be connected to the land. Well,
it's something that a lot of us, I think, especially girls, dream of, having horses and dogs and a beautiful ranch house. We dream about it, and I'm almost embarrassed how lucky I am and how beautiful it is where I live.
But I remember seeing it then thinking, oh, how lucky. You're right. So 35 years later that we both think, oh, how lucky is the really amazing thing. John, come sit down and have a seat. We were just talking about the ranch. Was that a lifestyle that you were able to easily fall into, or was,
Yeah. I'm a kid who grew up in the city of West Virginia, Wheeling, West Virginia, on a fifth floor walk up, just like Hell's Kitchen. I fell right into being a rancher.
Yeah, I think that I think it's almost every American's fantasy. Like, it's almost in our DNA to go west and to be in that kind of ground.
And I think if you're not in that moment now, you know that at some point in your life you will be. Like a lot of people know that's how I want to spend, you know, my life that way, is connecting with nature or being around animals. You have horses.
Yeah, good point. Good point. I never thought about that.
Well, everybody in New York City, this city just explodes and goes up into New England all out. So it's so crazy that, like, if I'll do a weekend getaway and I'll be like way up in Maine and I'll meet people from my building. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're the exact reason I wanted to get away. You know?
I was being facetious, by the way. I effing hated it.
Really?
You know, I'm a city kid. I was living in West Hollywood. I lived in New York right before that for 2 years. I couldn't stand all that quiet, man. It took me about 2 years to settle into it.
Well, what's the weirdest time for you? Nights? Like when...
It would, well, in our little town, if you didn't get a bite to eat by 9 o'clock, you'd better hurry up because the grocery store closed around 9:30 or 10 if you want to have something to eat that night. And, you know, I was used to here, if you want something at 4 in the morning, it's so easy to go out. It took a long time to just put that thing into fourth gear.
Well, see, Bo does stuff all day, so I imagine you're exhausted by the time the night rolls around, right?
Yeah, having a place like that in the country is labor.
Right.
And I remember we went to dinner with some friends and we were all out of the restaurant or out of their home by 8 o'clock. And he said, "What's wrong with you people? Don't you know how to have a good time?"
Now we are definitely getting the early bird specials at 5 o'clock. I mean, I'm looking at the thing at 4:30 going, hey, if we get there now, you know, we can be back home with the dogs by 6:30.
Well, that's, and see, this is what I always think of Bo, too, is because I'm on a horse with dogs just running next to you. And I'm like, it can't even be real. And it's the most beautiful area. I mean, I even think Santa Barbara is one of the most beautiful places in the world. But you guys are up above that.
Yeah. It was funny that you say that association, because there was a time when there was a lot of interest about me, and I had just bought the ranch, and it was, if you want to come and do an interview, you got to come up.
You got to come to the ranch, yeah.
I'm not going to the city for this.
Yeah. I always remember seeing you do stuff from there.
Yeah.
John, when's the first time that you became aware of Bo Derek? Is it the same as all of us?
Yeah, it's a two-part answer. Bo's 4 years older than me. She's been famous so long. I'm 54. Bo's 58. She has been famous since she was 19 or 20. When we started dating, all my friends thought she was much, much older. And, you know,
because her fame came when she was so young.
Yeah, she's been famous for so long. So when I was in high school, it was right around 79. I think in my local paper, I saw an ad in a little article about Bo. And I was at my little high school girlfriend's house, and I remember seeing a picture of Bo thinking, I wish I had a girlfriend that pretty. And I never saw 10 when it was out. We were dating for about a year, and they're gone now, but we were in a Blockbuster, and this was about 03, I guess, and there it was on VHS, and I said, we're watching this tonight. She said, no way, and I said, yeah, way, and we watched it, and I was blown away by how good it was.
Oh yeah, it's so funny.
It's great. Dudley Moore. You know, Dudley Moore replaced a George Siegel who bailed out at the last minute too.
It's hard to imagine it without Dudley Moore, right? And or could even make that again, because he was like this. I mean, you have to be so likable to get away with that character. He's a stalker who follows someone on their honeymoon. They would have killed him today. You know?
cheating on his
lady. So it was an amazing thing to pull off. But in my lifetime, I don't remember anyone else ever getting so famous so fast, to going, you know, to be that real it girl in the way that used to happen in Hollywood, like back in the 30s or 40s. I mean, she was literally the most famous person. And when Bo would go on a talk show, you would see the host fumbling, trying to be improv. I mean, it just turned everything upside down.
There was a Johnny Carson that I saw he was like speechless in your presence.
Yeah, he couldn't pull it off, and it was Carson. It was Carson, you know? So, and then to think that you were so brilliant to say to yourself, I'm going to build, you know, I'm going to buy this ranch, I'm going to do that type of thing. And then how many movies did you turn down? It would always be brought up that you were going to do movies, different movies after that for different directors, and not as much interest? Or?
It was a strange time for me because I wasn't prepared for fame at all. It's a little part in 10. I'm in the film just about 10 minutes. And so
First of all, that stuns me.
Yeah, it was completely unexpected from everybody in the industry. And so there was this time where I was being pulled and told you should do this, you should do that. And there was no harmony in everyone's opinion. And there were briefcases full of cash coming into the office to get me to sign. And I just pretty much pulled away, went off and made my own films, good or bad.
Right.
But I exploited myself, in essence, and had a great time, great experience doing it. And maybe not the best career move, the best life move for me.
That's amazing, right?
Yeah.
How many people do what they want to do? It's the hardest thing to do. People don't realize that success can be every bit as awful as failure. You know what I mean? It's as weirdly life-changing as a horrible failure can be.
Yeah, it's true.
And to be able to come through it.
I was just not prepared. I had a fight with the studio before the film opened, so I wasn't even part of the press kit. So I had no infrastructure, no group behind me, no advisors. And the best advice I ever got was, just because everyone else wants it doesn't mean you have to. Make sure you want this. And I really wasn't sure.
Who gave you that advice?
And my husband.
John Derek, who, you know, was a bigger than life guy. I mean, he was a matinee idol, then he was a writer, photographer. He was a guy that also didn't play by any kind of rules.
He didn't. And that probably influenced me a lot too.
I always thought that he and Peter Beard, the photographer, always reminded me of each other. There's certain people that they almost don't feel like they're of these times. You know what I mean? There's just some people that felt like they should have been around when they were explorers. But I always think that it's amazing that you did this stuff the way that you did. I always love when someone steps out and said, no, this is the way I want to live my life.
Yeah, I happen to agree with you, and I find that I admire those people more and more all the time.
And the fact that you forced John to live a lifestyle that he wasn't prepared for, even stronger. Do you like it now, though? Are you into it now, or?
Well, I love it. I love it now. We've been on the road now for about 11 days, and we'll pull into the house to 3 big Irish Wolfhound and 2 German Shepherds tonight about 1 in the morning, and I can't wait. I really look forward to getting home.
Oh, you guys are flying right out?
We're going to fly out today.
Yeah.
I think we leave the planet about 6:30 and then get back on the planet at around 10 o'clock.
I never thought it that way. But
you're right. We are leaving the planet.
How's everything going with your new TV show?
Sex, Drugs, and Rock&Roll on FX at 10 o'clock. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. On Thursdays.
On Thursdays, thanks. It's great, man. That's really a big reason why we're in New York. We had our big premiere on Tuesday. Dennis Leary created it, my hero, and stars in it and produces it and writes all the music and directs it. I mean, he's a mad scientist kind of. And, so this coming Thursday is our second one. And so we've got 10. We've got 10 in the bank. So for the next 10 weeks, you can see it and laugh.
Well, we're all buddies here with Bobby Kelly, so we're just pulling for him, you know, because he's so great.
He's really, you know, it's funny. The funniest part, everybody knows he's funny, but he really cracked down to learn how to play the drums because he's playing our drummer and he didn't want to just look like a guy who was banging the thing like Fred Flintstone. He really worked hard at it and he did a great job. And then, you know, when his funny bits, there's 4 of us, John Ailes, Bobby Kelly, me, and Dennis. We're the 4 dudes in the band. And there's a lot of improv and I just sit back and let these 3 guys go.
Let them go.
Yeah, because they're geniuses.
Well, you're a musician and it's not always the easiest thing to pull off when you're not in a movie, you know what I mean? And how many times have we seen that? Like, well, there's something that feels false about it. So you got to have the musical background.
Yeah, and I'm the lead guitar player in it, and that's the first thing I do when I've been playing guitar since I was 7, so the first thing I do when I see anybody pick up a guitar in the movie, I stop listening to what they're saying, I'm just watching their hands,
Right.
And I know that's what every other dude's doing too.
What music did you grow up on? What was the thing that made you fall in love with rock and roll?
I grew up, I'm 54 now, so in the mid-70s, there was a lot of Nugent and Styx and Kiss and Aerosmith and Kansas, rock and roll.
Yeah, that was the time that it really became organized and big. And I was telling Gail about this because for her generation, they didn't go to rock shows the way we did with like 20,000 people, everyone from your high school, everyone from the thing. That was the only reason I felt like we were alive in those days for those shows.
We Wheeling, my town, just West Virginia, just put in a big civic center, I guess in about 72 or 74. And it was just perfect timing for me I still have all my ticket stubs, all my early Tom Petty's opening for Chicago, things like that. Yeah, I still have all my stubs.
Well, Petty is like Bo, where he's been around for so long. You know what I mean? You're like, well, how young were you when you started this?
Yeah.
Petty had hits in like 76, 77.
Yeah, breakdown. Go ahead and do it. That was the tour I saw him up for Chicago, of all people, man.
Yeah, I remember when that was the only song that we would pop for him. You know what I mean? We were like, that's the one I've heard on the radio. Because I grew up in Philly, and we were very hard on acts until they got over. But we went to see everybody. You know, some towns they were very likable to the bands that came through.
So they're a great band. I don't know if they're from Philly. I feel they are. A young band I saw a few years ago named Marah. Do you know those guys?
I don't think so.
Okay,
no.
I might be wrong.
I'm going to check them out. They could be, though.
Okay.
Have you ever seen, and I bring this up to everybody, have you ever seen Daryl's House?
I watched
Daryl Holzo?
On Palladium,
to me, that's the best music show I've ever seen in my life.
We coincidentally name dropping our friends with Rob Thomas, from Matchbox 20.
That was a great one that they did together.
Great episode. We actually just saw him in Santa Barbara 2 weeks ago. He's out doing a new solo record tour, but that one in particular was really good.
Well, they did Sarah Smile together, I think, and you're like, oh, Rob, you could have been black. You know what I mean? Like, there's just some dudes that you're like, well, when Hall & Oates even people didn't know that they were white. They were the first to kind of cross over on black stations. And then when they showed up, Freddie Crocker, who was a big DJ, said, how are these guys Hall & Oates? This isn't Hall & Oates. Because they sent it to them in a blank thing so they would play the record. Yeah. But it's amazing you get to mix everything, too, dude. You get to mix music and of course, acting. And this is where you've gone too far, Bo Derek. See, that's the thing, you know what I mean? That's where you took too much off the table, is what I'm saying to you. At a certain point,
it's okay just to have a few little bits here and there and a few bites, but I just swiped it all into my purse.
And this is what pisses me off. I was there the first night at 10, so I understood. I didn't have to wait for the VHS later.
I don't know how I missed the movie. I missed a lot of those great movies. I never saw Star Wars in the theater. I was there too. I didn't see that till about 10 years later on VHS, but I was definitely aware of who that chick was.
Yeah.
But I was surprised at how good Blake Edwards' film was.
Yeah, it was great.
I expected to be a little more corny and cheesy, but it was really good.
No, it still really holds up. It really does. It's a great film. And I was there for Tarzan. I was there for Blair. I'm not like him. I went and picked up the Playboy. I was there for
You were in Playboy?
Was that maybe the biggest selling or one of the biggest selling of all time?
It was, yeah. The first one was.
Yeah, when that came out, it was everywhere. Everywhere.
Yep. A lot of reprintings on that one.
And now she goes to bed at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
How many dogs you guys have? How many dogs? 3 dogs running around out there?
3 dogs, 5 horses.
Smokey is our new German Shepherd. He's 3. He's all black. Chico, he's 4, I believe. And Scarlet, our 160-pound Irish Wolfhound.
That's a lot of dogs.
Huge,
It's a lot of dogs. She's like a horse.
You need a lot of room.
Yeah,
for that.
we do.
How many acres you guys got?
10 acres.
10 acres, just beautiful, beautiful area, and then surround it.
We have we have 120 acres altogether, but it's not exactly connected. It's a little apart.
So you got to go down a bit.
We're on 10.
It's a good trail ride.
We ride a horse, probably 7 football fields to the 100 acres.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. It's cool.
That's unbelievable. And that's what you're going to leave Earth for a while.
Yeah.
And then when you come back to Earth, that's where you're going to be.
Tonight.
Yeah. It was so great to have you both stop by.
Thanks.
Sharknado is out. And then Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. It was great meeting you both.
Thank you, brother.
See you next time coming through.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!